Chapter 865. Lon Wanru walked over and asked gently, "Bowling, are you hungry? Shall we eat? Go wash your hands first, okay? Take the young master to wash his hands." The maids took Di Bowling away. Lon Wanru said to Li Yuhuai, "Auntie, you can't be too strict with Bowling. Children are simple-minded. They only remember who is good to them. If you're too strict, they'll reject you." Could it be that Bowling is staying in the castle and not coming back because Di Haoyan is good to him? Do you think I'll believe that? Lon Wanru also felt that this matter was very strange. However, she still found an excuse. Maybe it's because Brother Haoyan loves his child dearly, and it's not a bad thing to have another playmate. You still have to consider other people's feelings, right? It's not like this is his child. It's fine if he rarely goes, but he goes every day and even wants to stay there. It doesn't make sense. Li Yuhuai thought of something, and her hair stood on end. Could it be that when Tang Bao was pregnant, she was schemed against by your uncle, and now Di Haoyan is holding a grudge and wants to take Bowling away and harm Bowling? No, Auntie. No matter what, Brother Haoyan wouldn't lay his hands on a 3-year-old child. Lon Wanru knew this. Di Haoyan was a strong person. Would he care about a child? Why would he waste so much effort? That's not very likely. And Auntie, you've asked Bowling. Children don't lie. If he was bullied, he would definitely say it, Lon Wanru said. Li Yuhuai thought about it and agreed. Moreover, Di Bowling didn't look like he was wronged. At night, when Di Bowling was about to go to bed, there was a knock on the door. Lon Wanru opened the door slightly and asked the person inside, "Bowling, can Annie come in?" "Come in." Lon Wanru only entered after getting permission. She looked at Di Bowling, who was sitting on the bed, and asked, "Are you ready to sleep?" "Yes. We have to go to school tomorrow, so we have to sleep early. Annie hasn't seen you in a few days, so she came over to see you." Lon Wanru smiled and sat down on the edge of the bed, looking at him warmly. "You're not in good health. You should sleep early." Lon Wanru asked, "How do you know that I'm in poor health?" "I smell Chinese medicine." Lon Wanru was surprised. He didn't expect a 3-year-old child to be so astute. From the looks of it, it wasn't someone else who told him about it. "Did you have fun in the castle these days? I used to live there, too. It's very big. If you want to walk around the castle, you'll have to walk for half a day." Lon Wanru spoke in a casual tone, trying to make Di Bowling lower his guard. "I haven't." "Is that so? Then what were you doing in the castle? Is it fun? There's an amusement park. In other words, you like the amusement park there?" Lon Wanru continued to ask with a smile, hiding his purpose. "Yes." "Then, is your uncle good to you?" "Very good." Di Bowling pursed his lips and said. "Then, is the other uncle also good to you?" Lon Wanru asked. "What uncle? Are you talking about Di Banghan's mother?" "That's a man, not a mother. You can call him uncle, but you can't treat him as a woman." Di Bowling thought that Di Banghan's mother was a man outside, but a woman in the castle. Should he not let outsiders know? Even Annie didn't know. Thus, he remained silent and didn't say anything. Di Bowling thought that if she wanted to know, she could find a way herself. "Actually, as long as they treat you well, it's okay if you go and play. But if you go next time, can I go? If you want to go, you can go. Why do you have to ask me? That's not my castle." Di Bowling said like a little adult. "It's like this. Not everyone can enter the castle, so I was thinking that if you mention it to Uncle, maybe I can go in. I'm just embarrassed. What do you think?" Di Bowling didn't say anything. He was thinking about what she meant by embarrassed. Was there something he didn't understand? "All right, go to bed early. Do you want me to tell you a bedtime story?" Lon Wanru touched his soft hair and asked. "No need. I don't like to listen to bedtime stories." "All right, then." Lon Wanru didn't say anything. He stood up and left. Di Bowling lay down on the bed, his eyes open, thinking about something. It was about what happened at the school gate after school. What Di Haoyan said to him by the car. He would have his own black pony tomorrow, the same one as Di Haoyan. But why would Di Haoyan buy him a pony? How did he know that he liked black? Every time Di Haoyan rode a horse, he watched from afar and didn't want to get close. But he knew that he liked to ride horses too. It was just that he acted indifferent on the surface. For the first time in his life, Di Bowling couldn't sleep. He was thinking, should he keep the pony or not? After all, Di Hao Yin wasn't his daddy. But if he didn't want it, it would be a waste to buy it. Di Bowling kept thinking about that question until he fell asleep. Tang Bao lay on the bed. In her slightly shaky vision, she saw her name on Di Hao Yin's mermaid line. Looking at it made her body and mind feel warm. Originally, she was the one who served Di Hao Yin. But then, she went overboard and was held down by Di Hao Yin. In the hands of Di Hao Yin, she completely lost control. She felt like the world was shaking. After the magnitude 12 earthquake stopped, Di Hao Yin kissed Tang Bao's sweaty forehead. Tang Bao couldn't even lift a finger now. Being kissed by Di Hao Yin, she didn't even have the strength to turn her face away. Don't. Her voice was hoarse. Bao. When Tang Bao heard Di Hao Yin call her that, her heart trembled. It was a simple word, but it seemed to have drilled into her heart and stirred her heart. Hubby will take you to take a bath. Tang Bao frowned. No, you're so wet. How can you sleep if you don't take a bath? Be good. Di Hao Yin kissed her little mouth to comfort her. Then, he carried her into the bathroom. He turned on the water in the bathtub with one hand and let it run. While waiting, Di Hao Yin placed Tang Bao on the sink and put a towel under her. Otherwise, she would catch a cold. Tang Bao's entire body was groggy, and he had yet to wake up from his temporary coma. Di Hao Yin looked at her, who was about to break down, and his dark eyes deepened again. In the end, when she soaked in the bathtub, Tang Bao was completely unconscious. She didn't know how many times she died. In any case, she was at Di Hao Yin's mercy. From the beginning to the end, she didn't even lift her eyelids. The next day, Tang Bao went to the studio. Her back was aching. She should exercise more, but definitely not for Di Hao Yin's bestial nature. Chapter 866. Being together with Di Hao Yin and being his woman was definitely going to shorten her life. Manager Tang, you're here. Little Ding smiled. Manager Tang, your skin is so good. Your face is so rosy. Tang Bao didn't know why, but she thought of what Di Hao Yin had done to her. She thought that every time she had such a hard time, her face would turn pale and she would look dispirited from excessive indulgence. However, she didn't. Whether she looked in the mirror or in the eyes of others, her face was always rosy, delicate, and lustrous. What the hell was this? Could it be that the term excessive indulgence was fake? No. Shouldn't I be called Manager Tang now? I should be called President Tang. Little Ding giggled. President Tang? Forget it. Just call me Manager Tang from before. I prefer being a manager, Tang Bao said. Okay. All right. Manager Tang, someone is waiting for you in the office. Tang Bao looked at the excited expression on Little Ding's face and thought that the person waiting for her couldn't be Di Hao Yin. Di Hao Yin had just entered tea. How could he enter her office faster than her? You'll know when you go in. You'll be very excited. Little Ding said. Tang Bao didn't ask. She would know who it was once she entered the office. Walking into her office, the person inside had her back facing them. Her clothes were clean and tidy, and she had a unique aura. Her tall figure was very stylish. People couldn't help but stop and be curious about her face. You are? Tang Bao asked. That person slowly turned around, his handsome and well-defined face causing Tang Bao to be stunned. Doga, are you surprised? Sorry, I didn't tell you in advance that I was coming. What surprise? It's too much of surprise. I didn't expect that the person waiting for me in the office would be you. You should have told me that you were coming. I should at least treat you well. Tang Bao smiled. Have a seat. The two of them sat down on the sofa. Doga looked at her and said, I think there will be many opportunities to treat you in the future. Tang Bao understood what he meant and asked, What do you mean? I've come to the Emperor's city and I don't plan to leave. I'm not familiar with this place. Will you take me in? Doga smiled faintly, exuding a unique charm. Could it be that all artists' faces were shaped according to art? It was so pleasing to the eye. Shelter? Tang Bao understood and asked tentatively, Don't tell me you're not on Belle's Got Talent anymore. I've already resigned for half a month. I just wanted to come here and join you. Tang Bao was stunned by Doji's words. It was not strange for Doga to come here, but she did not expect her to come here to work for her. Can't I? Doga asked. How would I dare to say no? Anyone who can have a photographer like you at work is like picking up a priceless treasure. Of course, I am no exception. It's just that I'm afraid I can't afford to hire you. My status now is different from before, Tang Bao said. I don't lack money. It's not that I'm arrogant, but I've always thought that money is just a worldly possession. I don't even care about being famous anymore. Do you think I'll be so calculative? If you really can't afford it, I can totally work for you for free. I won't take any money, Doga said. Anyway, I'm not planning to leave since I'm here. Unless you don't lack a photographer. How could Tang Bao not lack a photographer? The most important thing for a celebrity's packaging was a photographer. Tang Bao had been hiring online, but she had not found anyone she liked. She was worried. Doga came to help her in her hour of need. She was overjoyed. How could she not want it? But she knew that Doga came to her not just to look for a job, but to help her. It was not that she did not know. Have you thought about it? I do lack a photographer, but I also know that you're here to help me, right? It's not a loss. I have a job, and you have a photographer. Isn't it just nice? Doga smiled lightly. Tang Bao smiled. Since you've already decided, then I have no problem. Mengshi and Chengju are coming soon. Song Hong has a film to shoot. I'm waiting for your call. Why don't you film it yourself? It's just that the investment is more. If you don't have money, I can join you, Doga said. Tang Bao nodded. I want it too. It's just that I don't have anyone in this area. If you just find someone, I won't take a liking to it. I want to be popular with just one film. This is more important. It's very important to have a reliable screenwriter. The screenwriting industry now is very deep. There are very few who are really good. Blinded by greed, Tang Bao said. Those famous ones were all hyped up, and the television shows they filmed were not good. Although the ratings could not be good, they would not be popular. Tang Bao had seen them before. They were not good. It was said that those so-called popular TV shows were all operated by the water army behind the scenes. They spent money. How could she do such a thing? What she wanted was not only the real deal, but also the ratings to be popular. As for sponsors, she would not look for tea. That was like cheating. Thinking about it made her want to laugh. What do you want to do? Dogo asked. I want to cast a net on the internet. Recruit screenwriting talents. Doga nodded. I'll help you keep an eye out. It's better to do it yourself than to work under someone else. Tang Bao smiled. You're so opinionated. You can open your own studio too. That's possible. But even if I open a studio, I'll work in your studio. We'll be the same company, Doga said. Since you said so, I won't say any more polite words. If Tang Bao really wanted Doga to work for her, she would not treat him badly. She would not treat any of her subordinates unfairly. All right, if you work in Imperial City, do you have a place to stay? Tang Bao asked. If not, I'll arrange it. No need. I came to look for you because I've already arranged everything else. It's not far from here. It's very convenient to stay in a single apartment. That's good. If you have any inconveniences, just let me know. Don't stand on ceremony. I'm from Imperial City. I know this place better than you. Don't worry. If there's anything, I won't stand on ceremony with you. Tang Bao smiled. After Dogu left the studio, Tang Bao recruited screenwriters online. There were no restrictions on men or women. No experience was required. It was fine even if there were no works, as long as they had the guts to write. Luo Loli sat in front of the computer looking for inspiration. She did not know what to write. She had written hundreds of thousands of words in the past few days, but she did not know how to continue. She wandered into a celebrity studio that was recruiting screenwriters. They did not even need any works. This was the first time she had seen such a company. Could it be a scam? Luo Loli looked at the studio's profile. The studio's name was Ibao. The address was beside T. Chapter 867. Why did she feel that AI Bao's name seemed to have a story behind it? The address was right next to T's. Wasn't that a coincidence? Luo Luoli was curious. Hence, she went to that studio during the day. Standing at the door, it was indeed right next to T's. That was also T's territory. T rented it out? Luo Luoli walked to the door of the studio. Little Ding saw her and walked over. Hello, what can I do for you? This girl was so beautiful that she couldn't take her eyes off her. Moreover, based on her many years of experience in the entertainment industry, she definitely didn't have plastic surgery. If AI Bao Studio had such a beauty, wouldn't it be like adding wings to a tiger? Excuse me, are you recruiting screenwriters here? Little Ding came back to her senses. Yes, but this seems to be an online recruitment, right? You just have to send what you write to the mailbox. I know, but that's because I'm not sure, Luo Luoli said embarrassedly. She was afraid that she would be cheated, so she didn't say it directly. However, others could understand. That's normal, but don't worry, our company is legitimate. There's no cheating involved. Do you want to come in and take a look? Little Ding thought that it would be best if she was a talent. But if she wasn't, her face could also bring benefits to the studio. So she warmly invited her in. After Luo Luoli went in, the interior was more luxurious and classy than she had imagined. If she was a scammer, why would she make it so low-key and luxurious? It didn't lose its style and made people feel comfortable looking at it. There were also a few staff members working on computers inside. Using such a method to recruit screenwriters, it could be seen that this studio had just opened. Does your company have any artists yet? Luo Luoli asked. Yes, Chung Ju and Meng Shi. The two of them? Luo Luoli was surprised. Who didn't know Meng Shi and Chung Ju? Especially Meng Shi, who didn't know? Who would have thought? Tang Bao had been ordered by that devil, Di Hao Yin, to look for him in his office. If she didn't go, he would come over. Damn. Of course, she would go over. Her place was so small that Di Hao Yin didn't even care about her dignity when he touched her. She didn't want to embarrass herself in front of her staff. When she went down the stairs, she saw that Xiao Ding was serving someone. She lost her balance and almost sprained her ankle. She stared blankly at Luo Luoli, who had appeared in her studio. That's my boss, Agent Tang. Then he ran excitedly to Tang Bao and whispered, Manager Tang, this person came over to take a look after seeing our studio online. But I think that even if she can't be a screenwriter, she can still be a celebrity. She's really pretty, and she hasn't had any plastic surgery on her face. She looks very young. There is no need for Little Ding to introduce the Tang Bao. How would she not know about it? It couldn't be any clearer. However, she still hadn't figured out how to meet Luo Luoli. Luo Luoli had been locked up by Di Hao Yin for 3 years because of her. She was afraid that she would hate her. She didn't expect to meet her here without any warning. When Luo Luoli saw Tang Bao, she was also stunned. Why did this person look a little like Tang Bao? Could he be Tang Bao's long-lost brother? All right, wasn't Tang Bao in Boiling City? This person was also from Boiling City. Could he really be related to Tang Bao? Tang Bao calmed himself down and walked towards Luo Luoli. Hello. Luo Luoli smiled. Hello. I'm just here to take a look. She didn't expect this person to be so friendly. He made people feel comfortable. Could it be because he looked a little like Tang Bao? My assistant said that you're interested in becoming a screenwriter? Tang Bao asked. Yes, I saw it online, but I don't have any experience in this area. I'm self-taught. Also, I didn't graduate from university. I didn't even finish my first year. Don't you know the impact? Tang Bao knew why Luo Luoli didn't finish her first year. After hearing her innocent words, Tang Bao felt bad. If it wasn't for the fact that she was afraid that Luo Luoli would think that she was too passionate and strange, she would have just taken her. A girl's beautiful life was ruined because of her. She wasn't even allowed to go to university. Wouldn't Tang Bao feel guilty and sad? I don't have any requirements in this area. Even if you graduate from primary school, as long as you know how to read and write, I'll take a liking to you. There won't be a problem. Tang Bao smiled. That's great. I'll go back and come up with an idea. I'll send it to the mailbox. Okay. Tang Bao agreed. Luo Luoli turned and left the studio. Tang Bao didn't feel good. If Luo Luoli knew who she was, would she still be willing to come? She didn't even know how to treat Luo Luoli well. However, if it was what she wanted, she would help her. Di Hao Yin was in the office preparing afternoon snacks for Tang Bao. When he saw Tang Bao walking in, he asked, Why are you only here now? If you were a second later, I would have gone to look for you. Luoli went to my studio. Tang Bao pouted. It was obvious that she was unhappy. Her voice was soft and low. It was only in front of Di Hao Yin that she would shed her fierce appearance outside. She would act like a little girl and act coquettishly. What did she do? Di Hao Hian didn't think that Luo Luoli already knew Tang Bao's true colors. Otherwise, Tang Bao wouldn't have such an expression. He walked over with the snack in his hand and brought it to her mouth to feed her. Tang Bao looked at the exquisite and delicious cake in front of her and pouted. I have no appetite. Just take a bite. Tang Bao looked at the hand holding the cake, and a sly look flashed across her eyes. Just one bite? Yes. After Di Hao Ian responded, Tang Bao opened her mouth and bit Di Hao Ian's hand. After taking a bite, she let go. There were rows of teeth marks on it. Di Hao Ian chuckled and approached her dotingly, kissing her unhappy mouth. Oh, Tang Bao was deeply violated, causing her to tremble all over. She was still unhappy. Tang Bao didn't want to be outdone. Di Hao Ian groaned, but he didn't pull away. Tang Bao wouldn't really bite him. Seeing that Di Hao Ian didn't flinch, she stopped biting. Thus, she was kissed by Di Hao Ian until she was out of breath and fell into Di Hao Ian's arms. She was dizzy. Then she was fed by Di Hao Ian. It's all your fault. It's my fault. You're annoying. I hate. You're a demon. I'm a demon. You're not allowed to touch me at night. I can't. Tang Bao thought to herself, why didn't you say I won't touch you? Why didn't you fall for it? Why did she marry such a shrewd man? He didn't lose out at all in that aspect. After Luo Luoli went back, she had all kinds of ideas. She was very excited. Chapter 868. The boss of the studio seemed easy to talk to, which made her very confident. She was thinking about on the way there and during dinner. She was worried that she would not be chosen and disappoint others. Did you go out today? Gu Linshan asked. Yes. Luo Luoli thought of something and felt that it was okay to tell Gu Linshan. Youngest uncle, I went out to look for a job today. Gu Linshan frowned. You're looking for a job? Did you ask for my permission? No, it's a job that I like. What kind of job? A screenwriter. A yellow one. Luo Luoli was stunned. She was so angry that her face turned red and she pretended to hit him with her chopsticks. Youngest uncle, what nonsense are you talking about? Gu Linshan was pleased to see her red face and anger. Don't you have any yellow ones? No. Luo Luoli was furious. This was an insult to her job. She was going to fight to the end. Tell me, where did you go to look for a job? When Luo Luoli heard Gu Linshan's question, she quickly calmed down. She really wanted to tell Gu Linshan, youngest uncle, let me tell you, do you know where the studio is? It's right next to T. I want to see it myself. The studio's name is Bao Studio. Is there a hidden meaning behind this? I saw the boss. He's quite young and handsome. I think he looks a little like Tang Bao. Of course, he's definitely not Tang Bao. He's a man. Youngest uncle, don't you think it's a coincidence? Of course, Gu Linshan knew who the owner of the studio was. Even if he had not seen it himself, it was not difficult to guess from Luo Luoli's words. Tang Bao was back, and the studio was still in T's territory. Bao. They really knew how to flaunt their love. However, from the looks of it, Tang Bao did not let Luo Luoli know who she was. Why? Was he feeling guilty? Gu Linshan's desire for revenge grew stronger every day. However, when he saw Luo Luoli, he was forced to suppress his desire. Because, damn it, he also had a fatal weakness. If they really fought like that, only Luo Luoli would get hurt. Uncle, aren't you surprised? Luo Luoli asked. Surprised. Luo Luoli was dumbfounded. How could he be so expressionless? But there's nothing strange about it. The world is vast and full of wonders. I think so too, but it's quite interesting, so I told you. Are you going to be a screenwriter at that company? Gu Linshan asked. Yeah, I think the boss is very easy to talk to. She seems to have a lot of confidence in me. If my novel can really be approved, that would be great, Luo Luoli said excitedly. Gu Linshan snorted in his heart. If Tang Bao really felt guilty, then he should treat Luo Luoli well. Otherwise, he would teach her a lesson. After Luo Luoli finished eating, she saw that Gu Linshan had gone to the study. She turned around and went upstairs to her room. She wanted to take an early shower and write. She would try her best to give it to Bao Studio. Luo Luoli took a shower in the bathroom for almost half an hour. When she walked out of the bathroom, she saw Gu Linshin sitting in her office chair, looking at her computer. Luo Luoli walked over curiously. "Uncle, what are you doing?" When she walked up to him and saw that Gu Linshin was looking at a document with great interest, her beautiful face turned pale. She immediately closed the computer and hugged it with both hands. Her face was already red from the shower, but now it was even redder. "Who allowed you to look at my things?" Luo Luoli was so embarrassed that she accused him angrily. "It's written. It's not for other people to see." Gu Linshin did not feel uncomfortable at all about peeping at other people's privacy. He was very embarrassed. Then you have to get my permission first. I can look at it if I want to," Gu Linshin said as he crossed his legs. "What's written in it? The male lead and the female lead having sex?" Luo Luoli's face flushed red, all the way down her neck. She should have set a password for the computer. In the bathtub, Gu Linshin held the cigarette between his fingers, but did not light it. I meant that they were bathing. I didn't write anything else." "Then continue writing." "What?" Luo Luoli was stunned. "Didn't you say that you don't know how to continue writing because you have no inspiration? Little uncle can help you." Gu Linshin's cold eyes had a nature that no one dared to probe. Just one look was enough to make people blush and their hearts beat faster. Of course, Luo Luoli was unwilling. This was her job, and it was sacred and inviolable. "There's no need. I didn't write because I didn't have any inspiration. I had something to do today, so I didn't write. I don't need your help." She needed his help? How could she do that? Gu Linshin looked at her with an unfathomable glint in his deep eyes. After a moment, he stood up. "I'm going to take a shower." Luo Luoli was stunned. Why was he going to take a shower when everything was fine? Had he given up? This made her heave a sigh of relief. As long as Gu Linshin did not make such a shameful request, it would be fine. Seriously, she would set a password for the computer now. If she wrote something in the future and Gu Linshin made a big fuss about it, it would be so embarrassing. Moreover, she felt that it was normal to write an intimate scene between the male and female lead. This was art. Only Gu Linshin would have such thoughts. As soon as Luo Luoli set the password, Gu Linshin came out of the shower. He was not wearing any clothes. There was only a bath towel loosely wrapped around his waist. It looked like it would fall off at any moment. Ever since she had been drugged, she had deliberately avoided Gu Linshin. After showering, she would run to bed and say that she was sleepy. She had no choice. The pressure of sleeping in the same bed as Gu Linshin was too great. So this time, she wanted to use the same method to avoid it. After closing the computer, Luo Luoli stood up and walked to the big bed. "I'm so sleepy. I'm going to sleep." Gu Linshin stretched out his long arm and hooked it around her waist. As he pulled her into his arms, the girl's fragrance assailed his nostrils and made his body restless. "Little uncle, what are you doing?" "I'm going to sleep." "Didn't you hear me?" Luo Luoli struggled. "It works every time." "Huh? What do you mean it doesn't work?" "It doesn't work." Luo Luoli would never admit that she was running away. "Stop twisting. If the bath towel falls off, you'll be responsible." Gu Linshin's low and sinister voice sounded in her ear. It was as if his thin lips were pressed against her there. That was why she could feel the heat. This threat was very effective. Luo Luoli immediately stopped moving. If the bath towel fell off, she would be in even more danger. "What are you trying to do?" Luo Luoli asked. "It's still too early to sleep. Didn't I say to continue writing?" "What? I'm not writing anymore. I'll write tomorrow." Luo Luoli's brain was buzzing from a shock. "No, right now." Gu Linshin picked her up. Chapter 869. Although it was normal for her to write an ambiguous story, it would be embarrassing for her to write it in front of Gu Linshin, even if she had a mask on her face. Gu Linshin sat down on the chair with her in his arms. Luo Luoli naturally sat on Gu Linshin's strong thighs. "Little uncle, even if you want to write, let me sit beside you. Just write it like this." "You can write it while I guide you," Gu Linshin said. What do you want to guide me on?" Luo Luoli almost stuttered. Of course, it's about the intimate contact between a man and a woman. No, I'm not writing this. Luo Luoli immediately objected loudly. If you don't write, I'll do it myself, Gu Linshin threatened. Luo Luoli wanted to cry, but no tears came out. What was this? Was it a crime for her not to write? Why did he have to threaten her with such a thing? What was Gu Linshin thinking? What kind of hobby did she have to write it in front of him? Was he a pervert? She had a feeling that tonight would not be an easy night. Now, she was already feeling uneasy. The only thing between them was the thin layer of nightgown on Luo Luoli's body. Her burning skin seemed to be able to burn off the thin layer of nightgown. Luo Luoli turned on the computer. She needed to enter a password. She did not want to lose just now, but the moment Gu Linshin took a shower, this program was set up. Wasn't it obvious that she was guarding against Gu Linshin? Why are you not losing? Gu Linshin's deep voice was right next to her ear, so she could feel his hot breath coming out and staining her delicate skin red. Little uncle, do you want to leave us alone? Luo Luoli asked passively. What do you think? Luo Luoli did not expect Gu Linshin to not read it, so she entered the password in front of him. The page opened. At worst, she could change the password when Gu Linshin was not around. Opening the document, the text inside stopped at the scene where the male lead and female lead were talking in the bathtub. The female lead was kissed, and the male lead carried her up and down in the water. She didn't know how to describe what happened after that. Luo Luoli blushed as she typed on the keyboard. When the female lead was about to suffocate, the male lead let go of her and carried her back to the bed. Ah! Luo Luoli trembled and cried out softly. Her eyes were filled with tears of anger. Little uncle, don't mess with me. Is it written like this? Gu Linshin asked. That's how it was written. Luo Luoli was stubborn. Delete and rewrite. Write down all the ambiguous details, Gu Linshin demanded. Why do you have to write it in such detail? That's because you're inexperienced. That's why I'm going to teach you step by step how to fully feel what the male and female lead feel when they're together. Gu Linshin kissed her from behind. Luo Luoli's body stiffened and trembled. Even her voice was trembling. Must I write it? If you don't want me to teach you step by step, I'll let you go if you write to my satisfaction. Really? Luo Luoli still had a glimmer of hope. She felt that this was an opportunity, right? After all, Gu Linshin had said so. Of course it's true, but don't be perfunctory. You know that little uncle can tell and teach you personally. Gu Linshin bit her and threatened her. Luo Luoli's body trembled again, and her breathing became unstable. She could only rack her brains under Gu Linshin's threats and promises. She typed word by word on the keyboard. Her slender and fair fingers seemed to be playing the piano. Gu Linshin's gaze fell on the screen. As he watched, his dark eyes deepened. He was no gentleman with a beauty in his arms. This beauty was his wife. Whatever he did, it was right and proper. The words on the screen formed in Luo Luoli's mind and seemed to be imprinted on it. Every word made the heat on her face grow deeper. Luo Luoli was worried that her face would burn. To her, this was simply torture. Just as she wrote 100 words, she felt the temperature in the room rise continuously. It was very hot, not to mention the two of them who were pressed against each other. The temperature only increased. In the beginning, she could still lie to herself that it was an illusion. Later on, she couldn't lie to herself at all. Gu Linshin's reaction was so strong that it was about to break through everything. His breathing was so deep that it seemed as if every rough breath made Luo Luoli's body heat up. What was the cause of this? As Luo Luoli stared at the words on the computer screen, she realized that it was the hot words she had written that caused the air to burn continuously. Why aren't you writing anymore? Are you done? Gu Linshin's voice was extremely suppressed, and his breath was hot. I'm not writing anymore. No, continue writing. But I've already finished writing. How can I write so many intimate scenes? I think you've written well. I want to see it. Luo Luoli looked at the words shyly. She had written well? Was he not asking her to write for some purpose? Luo Luoli couldn't see it clearly at first, but now she understood very clearly. But how could she get out of bed after sleeping with the thief? Luo Luoli steadied her breathing and typed on the keyboard. She felt that her fingers were boiling hot. No matter how steady her breathing was, it was still rapid. Ah, little uncle. Luo Luoli began to struggle. Don't move. Let me pamper you. Continue writing. Gu Linshin whispered hoarsely in her ear. Luo Luoli couldn't continue writing. Her fingers trembled as she was tortured by Gu Linshin. You've written well. I like it. Luo Luoli's trembling eyes were filled with tears. She forced herself to look at the computer screen. When she saw the words on it, she wanted to poke her own eyes out. What was going on? Did she write this? It couldn't be, right? How could she write so well? Luoli, it looks like you still need little uncle's help. Gu Linshin said as he panted. I can't write anymore. Luo Luoli panted, and her face was red. I can't take it either. Gu Linshin stood up and pressed Luo Luoli against the chair. When Luo Luoli woke up the next day, she felt extremely sore all over. She whined and didn't want to get out of bed. Gu Linshin walked into the room and hugged Luo Luoli. He asked gently, Are you feeling unwell? I'm not feeling unwell. Luo Luoli didn't want to think about what happened yesterday. She wanted to bury her face in the blanket, but Gu Linshin stopped her. You're not eating? Are you hungry? I'll get up and eat by myself. You can still get up? Of course I can. Luo Luoli didn't want to embarrass herself. I'll get something for you to eat first. You can get up after eating. Gu Linshin saw that Luo Luoli still wanted to move and said coldly, Don't move. Luo Luoli watched as Gu Linshin walked out of the room. She was furious. What was wrong with him? He had just done that to her, and he was so fierce. She didn't force him to do that to her. Chapter 870. He was so evil. Who knew how she would be bullied in the future? After dinner, Luo Luoli wanted to stay at home and research her novel idea. However, Gu Linshin insisted on taking her to the office. Just like before, she hated it. Those in the Gu Corporation who did not know would think that she was Gu Linshin's secretary, and the kind of secretary who was having an affair, because Luo Luoli had heard that behind his back once. She did not believe that Gu Linshin did not know anything. He was such a shrewd person. When they arrived at Gu Linshin's office, she was listless. Go inside and rest, Gu Linshin ordered. No, I can't sleep. Can I just stay at home? I don't have any inspiration here. Why? Didn't you get enough inspiration last night? Luo Luoli's face turned red. Don't say it. You dare to do it, but you don't dare to say it. Gu Linshin looked at her with disdain. I don't think it's appropriate to talk about this during the day, Luo Luoli said as she racked her brains. Is there a time limit to this? What do you mean by that? If others hear this, they will think that we are hooligans. This was his office. Am I breaking the law by being a hooligan to you? Gu Linshin asked calmly. Luo Luoli could not out-talk Gu Linshin. She thought of something and asked, Youngest uncle, someone in the office said that I'm your secretary, and that kind of secretary. Who said that? The receptionist. I heard it when I was in the toilet. They said that I'm your kept woman, Luo Luoli said as she wrinkled her nose. Gu Linshin's cold eyes narrowed slightly as he put the phone on speaker. Ask Wang Yuan to come in. Luo Luoli was stunned. Wang Yuan was Gu Linshin's secretary. He did everything in the Gu Corporation. Why did he ask him to come in? Soon, there was a knock on the door, and Wang Yuan came in. Young Master Gu. Receptionist, don't let me see them. Change them. Wang Yuan did not ask any questions and agreed. Yes. After saying that, he went out. Luo Luoli was stunned. Little uncle, are you kidding me? Don't you understand what I mean? I don't understand. I told you not to let me come here. I didn't say that the front desk isn't good. What was the difference between her and the people who spread rumors behind people's backs? It's not good to say bad things about you. That's not a bad thing. You're the one who made others misunderstand. Wouldn't it be better if you didn't want me to come? Luo Luoli pointed at the culprit. That won't do. This is my idea, and it has nothing to do with you. When Luo Luoli went out, she found that the receptionist had indeed changed. There was no doubt about Wang Yuan's ability to get things done. She thought about it and decided not to wander around the company. Otherwise, She was afraid that more people would be fired because of her. She felt very guilty, okay? Luo Luoli was sitting in front of Gu Linshin's desk. She was typing on the keyboard, coming up with ideas and outlines for her novel. She had a plot, and it was about adolescent love. She remembered that when she was in university, there was a senior who she liked. Although he was just a bystander, he had given her a lot of inspiration. For someone like her who had no work experience, it was good to write in this aspect. The male lead was the little prince of a tycoon in the school. He was arrogant and domineering, and there was nothing he wouldn't do. He could do whatever he wanted in the school, and his looks were unrivaled. The female lead was Cinderella. She was admitted to an aristocratic school with excellent results. She met and fought with the male lead and finally fell in love with him. Luo Luoli wrote the outline in 2 days. She also wrote tens of thousands of words and sent them to Bao's studio together. Tang Bao had been paying attention to her email recently. After seeing Luo Luoli's novel, he felt that it was very good. Youth novels were popular now, and they were full of beautiful memories. If it was written well, it would definitely be very interesting. It was only tens of thousands of words, but Tang Bao's thoughts were immersed in it. Although it was a youth theme, it was very special. Hence, she immediately replied, "The writing is delicate, the plot is interesting, and it is full of nostalgia. It can make people think of their youth now and reminisce about their youth in the past. The scene between the male and female leads is very good, and it makes people want to continue reading." Luo Luoli didn't expect that she would be accepted as soon as she wrote it. This was no doubt an acknowledgement of her, and she was so happy that she almost jumped. There was a QQ at the bottom, and it was called Tang Ge. He had the same surname as Tang Bao. If this wasn't fate, then what was? She immediately added, "Alluring Bao," or "Hello, lowly toxic. Hello, I have received your reply." Then, should I continue writing? "Alluring Bao," or "Do you have time to come over? We can sign a contract. If you don't have time, I can send it to you." "Lowly toxic, I have time. When should I go over?" "Alluring Bao," or "Tomorrow." "Lowly toxic, I'm so happy. I didn't expect to be chosen on my first try." "Alluring Bao," "That's because you wrote what I needed." "Lowly toxic, then I'm in luck." Haha. Tang Bao didn't casually set the prototype of the script just because she was Luo Luoli. It was because she wanted such a theme from the beginning. The description of the male lead in this outline reminded her of the unruly Meng Shi, who had the temperament of a young master from an aristocratic family. And Qingju was the image of an innocent little bunny, but very strong Cinderella. It could be tailor-made for them. If such a drama made them popular at the same time, then their fame in the entertainment industry in D-City could be imagined. There was no need to worry. What she didn't expect was that Luo Luoli would write on this point. She could have signed a contract today, but she had to go to the airport to pick someone up today. Meng Shi and Chengju. If she didn't go, Chengju wouldn't mind, but she was afraid that Meng Shi would definitely scream nonstop. Meng Shi and Chengju got off the plane and walked out with the crowd. Meng Shi was wearing sunglasses and scrolling through his phone as he walked. He wanted to see if Tang Ge had called to pick him up. There was not a single call. His expression didn't look too good. "Will he not come to pick me up? That'll make me very unhappy. Tang Ge has a lot of things to deal with. He's not free." Chengju's face was expressionless. "By the way, Tang Ge told you not to cover your face. It's just sunglasses. Don't worry. Even if I wear a mask, I'll be recognized. You're different, so don't worry about me." Meng Shi was smug. Chengju had never fought with Meng Shi. With this guy's temper, she would definitely avoid him as much as possible. "Wow, it's Meng Shi, my super Prince Charming. Prince Charming, I want to have your babies." "And me, Prince Charming, I'm here. I've been your fan for many years." He had been recognized on the plane, let alone when he got off the plane. The phone cameras kept taking pictures. Meng Shi also took pictures. Chapter 871. That's Chengju. I like Chengju. She's so pretty and has such good skin. Some fans were overjoyed. "I like her too. Chengju, I love you." Chengju had a polite smile on her face as she walked forward with Meng, Shi with her head lowered. There were more and more fans. A few assistants separated them to prevent any accidents from happening due to the crowding. Meng Shi, is Changju your girlfriend? I saw the complete video online. You're so manly, a fan shouted. Meng Shi and Changju naturally wouldn't respond to such a topic. At most, they would respond with a smile. When they reached the exit, they saw a black business car parked there. Shouting waved at them. After the car door opened, Meng Shi and Changju quickly got into the car. Tang Bao sat in the car. It's been a long journey. Tang Ge, I missed you so much. Meng Shi went forward to hug him. He was stopped by Tang Ge with a finger. I'm taken now. Watch your behavior. Not even a hug. Meng Shi frowned. No, aren't you being too chaste? Tang Bao thought. Chaste. Chengju was happy to see Tang Ge. Tang Ge, long time no see. Why did you miss me? Chengju smiled and nodded embarrassedly. I'm sorry, this was my idea. I wanted the two of you to appear at the airport together. Tang Bao looked at the fans chasing after them through the car window and urged the driver. Let's go. Meng Shi also looked at the enthusiasm of the fans outside the car window and asked, Are you satisfied now? It's better than I thought. Tang Bao looked at Changju. Are there any of your fans? Yes, but not as many as Meng Shi. Almost all of them are Meng Shi's fans, Changju said. Is there a need to doubt it? When the two of us are together, they will definitely only see me, Meng Shi said confidently. He was telling the truth. Chengju had no objections to that. Tang Bao was used to their frequent bickering. This made him even more determined to film the youth-themed TV series. It couldn't be more suitable. The car stopped at the entrance of Ibao Studio. As soon as Meng Shi got out of the car, he saw T's majestic building. When he walked to the entrance of the studio, he was still wondering if this location was very expensive. Good, you're very rich. Is it expensive to rent this place? Meng Shi asked. Enough money? We still need to invest money in the later stages. If you don't have enough, you can tell me. Chengju said, I have some savings too. No need. This room is rented to me by someone I know. He gave me a discount. Discount? Someone you know? Monzi asked sensitively. Could be your boyfriend? Yes, that's him. Tang Bao admitted and did not say anything else. Wouldn't the identity of the Emperor's city's king scare others? Just as she was thinking of this, her phone rang. She looked at the caller ID and walked to the side to answer it. What's wrong? Those two people are here. Why are you still going to pick up the child? Tang Bao knew what Di Haotian meant. Nothing could be hidden from his eyes. I'm not going. I'm not going back for dinner either. I'll go back after dinner. Got it. Di Haotian's tone was very cold. Tang Bao could tell that he was unhappy and did not want to comfort him. After so many times, she knew what kind of comfort Di Haotian wanted. She did not want to dig her own grave. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. You don't have anything to say to me. Di Haotian's voice was even colder. Say what? Tang Bao saw that Meng Shi, Chengju, and Xiao Ding were looking around and not paying attention to her. She was not anxious. Can't you tell that I'm angry? Didn't want to hang up the phone because I could tell. However, Tang Bao still pretended not to know anything. I can't tell. You're angry? Why? Do you not want to mention me in front of them? I'm your husband. Di Haotian was almost growling domineeringly. When did I not mention you? Just now, I was saying that my boyfriend rented the studio for me. What else do you want me to say? Just say that we're married. Oh, what? Is there a problem? Di Haotian's voice lowered majestically. Gay marriage? I'm afraid that I'll scare them. Don't say that. At most, I'll say that we're living together. What's the difference? How is there no difference? One is protected by the law, the other is not. Tang Bao felt that Di Haotian's possessiveness was acting up again. It's fine if you don't say it. Really? Tang Bao's heart was filled with joy. I'll say it. The joy disappeared. I'll say it when I have the chance. That's more like it. Help me explain to the two babies. Just say that I'll go back after work. Got it. After hanging up, Tang Bao walked towards Meng Shi and Chengju. Meng Shi's expression did not look too good. Who are you talking to for so long? Tang Bao rolled his eyes at him. This is my private matter. You're meddling too much. Before Meng Shi was about to flare up, he changed the topic. How is it? This place is not bad, right? Of course it's not bad, thanks to tea. However, your boyfriend is really resourceful. Even if I haven't interacted with T, I know how vast his business empire is and how powerful he is. He's a rich family that people in the entertainment industry can't match up to. Why would he be willing to rent a studio to you? Your boyfriend is quite impressive. Haha, it's all right. It's just SOSO. Tang Bao smiled perfunctorily. He sat down and took out the document from the drawer for them to see. I've faxed you guys our intention to work with Song Hong, right? Why didn't you choose Shirxia? Meng Shi asked curiously. Cheng Ju said, Brother Tang must have his reasons for choosing Song Hong. Since when did you like to flatter people? Meng Shi frowned. Cheng Ju was speechless. She did not want to talk to him anymore. If she could, she did not want to talk to him for the rest of her life. Tang Bao sighed internally. Why do you always bully her? What do you mean? When did I bully her? Meng Shi stomped his feet. Tang Bao did not want to argue with him. The more he argued, the more energetic he became. I did choose Song Hong for a reason. At least when we just started out, Liang Jichao would not come looking for us. However, I know what you're worried about. Liang Jichao is not a good person, and Song Hong is not a good person either. So, we're only working together temporarily. When my script is out, I'll prepare to tailor a youth drama for you guys. The two of you will be the male and female leads. I'll be meeting the screenwriter tomorrow. So soon. Not bad. I'll take you guys to see where you're staying first. Put your luggage there, and then we'll go eat, Tang Bao arranged. Okay, Meng Shi said. Okay, Cheng Ju said. Chapter 872. The three children of the D family stood out the most. D Bang Han and D Bowling, in particular, had stern expressions on their faces. One was indifferent, the other was cold. When D Bowling saw D Hao Yin, he turned and ran toward his car. No matter how much he ran, he couldn't outrun D Hao Yin. He grabbed him by the arm. "Ah, you bad guy. Let me go. Don't think I'm afraid of you." I can see that. D Hao Yin ignored his struggle and carried him into the car. After getting into the car, the three children were inside. After D Hao Yin got into the car, the door closed and the car drove away. D Bowling was furious. He had never met anyone who dared to be so rude to him. "Let me out of the car, quickly. I want to go back to my own home. Didn't I tell you to go back and stay for a night? How many nights have you stayed? You don't want the horse I bought for you? Oomph. You want to bribe me with a horse? You're too naive," D Bowling said unyieldingly. "D Hao Yin," Xiao Bao said, "Daddy, if he doesn't go, can you give a horse to brother?" D Bowling exploded without thinking. "Why should I get it to him? Doesn't he have it?" Xiao Bao was shocked by his ferocious look. He shrank into Bao's side and didn't say anything. Bao looked at him coldly. "I can take turns. You bought it for me." D Bowling turned to D Hao Yin and said, "I'm going to the castle to see my foal." D Bowling had been hesitant about the foal for the past 2 days and was very troubled. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to control himself enough, so he kept avoiding D Hao Yin. He didn't expect that he still couldn't avoid him. So be it. If he didn't go, this person wouldn't let him out of the car. Why did he feel that his daddy and this uncle didn't seem like family? His daddy was much gentler, unlike him. He was extremely unlucky to have such an uncle. "Daddy, why did Mommy come?" Xiao Bao asked. "Mommy has work to do. She won't be back until dinner," D Hao Yin told them. "All right," Xiao Bao pouted. D Bowling thought to himself, that woman is not here. He wouldn't be back very late, would he? After arriving at the castle, he went to the horse farm area and saw 2 horses on the lawn. One was brown and the other was black, which he liked. "Go wash your hands first. We'll eat after that," D Hao Yin said sternly. D Bowling's face was a little dark, but because of D Hao Yin's prestige, he still went into the hall with the 2 treasures. After dinner, D Hao Yin took the 3 children to the racecourse. D Banhan already knew how to ride a horse, but he wouldn't be allowed to ride too fast. When he was riding, the jockey would watch from the side to prevent any accidents. D Bowling stroked his little black horse. Its fur was shiny and smooth. The more he looked at it, the more he liked it. Naturally, He couldn't climb up with his short legs. Di Hao Yin carried him onto the horse and called for another jockey to teach him. I don't need to be taught. I know how to ride, Deep Bowling said arrogantly. When I was abroad, there was a horse race in school. When did you start school? Di Hao Qian asked. 3 years old. So, after a few days of school, you know how to ride a horse? Deep Bowling's face darkened and he looked away. In the end, Deep Bowling still asked the jockey to teach him. He definitely wouldn't be allowed to ride alone. It was too dangerous. Di Hao Yin wouldn't allow it either. Xiao Bao wasn't interested in riding a horse. She skipped around Di Hao Yin and picked the little flowers. After picking the flowers, she hopped in front of Di Hao Yin. Daddy, I'll help you put the flowers on. They're very pretty. Di Hao Yin looked down at Xiao Bao, who was holding the little flowers with an anxious look on her face. He squatted down and let Xiao Bao dress him up. Xiao Bao carefully inserted the flowers into Di Hao Yin's thick black hair. She inserted one flower after another until she had inserted all the little flowers in her hand. There were about 5 or 6 flowers. After Xiao Bao finished, she clapped her hands happily. Daddy, you're so pretty. Daddy, you're so pretty. Daddy, can you put the flowers on me too? I want them to be pretty too. Use the ones on my head to put them on you. I'll go and pick them again. Xiao Bao turned around and ran to pick the flowers. Anyway, other than the flowers in the rose garden, she could pick any flowers in the castle. Not long after, Xiao Bao came back with the flowers and let Di Hao Yin help her put them on. Di Hao Yin inserted the flowers into her little braid one by one. After inserting the flowers, Xiao Bao asked, Daddy, does it look pretty? Yes. Then I'll go and show it to Big Brother. After Xiao Bao said that, she turned around and ran away. Di Hao Yin was left with a head full of flowers. So she had arranged the flowers for Big Brother to see. Di Hao Yin stood up. With a head full of flowers, he took out his cell phone. He typed and sent a text message. In the past, his cell phone didn't need this function. However, ever since he got the Tang Bao, this function was used frequently. Di Hao Yin, how long before you come back? If I don't set a time for you, you won't know. Tang Bao, who was eating, looked at the text message on his cell phone. He was a little speechless as he replied. We're still eating. What's the matter? Di Hao Yin, so I'll let you stay outside for no reason? Come back quickly. Tang Bao, you can't leave halfway through eating, right? Di Hao Yin, what kind of meal takes so long? Tang Bao, dinner. After sending the message, she put her cell phone away and didn't reply. Didn't Di Hao Yin just want her to go back now? Couldn't she have a little space of her own? She even had to worry about the time when she was eating outside. Just as she put her cell phone back, it rang again. However, this time, Tang Bao didn't look at it, because he didn't need to look to know who sent it to her. Di Hao Yin was really overbearing. He couldn't even eat in peace. Your cell phone is ringing, Meng Shi reminded her. It's nothing. It's just a mess of messages, Tang Bao said. But you replied to a few just now. Don't think that he didn't see it. He was smart. Yes, I replied. It was a friend just now. You're meddling too much. As a friend, isn't it normal to meddle? Meng Shi said seriously. Then he asked, who is it? Is it your boyfriend? Yes. Tang Bao didn't deny it. It was best to let them know that her relationship with her boyfriend was stronger than gold. This way, Meng Shi wouldn't have any other thoughts. I can tell that your boyfriend is especially clingy to you. I've heard before that gay men don't have true feelings, let alone focus. I didn't expect him to treat you like this. Meng Shi's words were also magnanimous, but he definitely didn't want to be inferior. You'll find it too. Tang Bao smiled. She was actually speechless when he said that Di Hao Yin was especially clingy to her. Meng Shi and Cheng Ju had seen it when they were in Boiling City. Cheng Ju smiled embarrassedly. I'm not interested in this. Chapter 873. What's so strange about that? Cheng Ju didn't feel awkward. Naturally, you have to meet someone you like before you can date. I'm not you. Meng Shi's expression changed. Are you saying that I'm a playboy? Try saying that again. I didn't say that. You said it yourself. Meng Shi smiled like a prince. Don't tell me you have some flaws in some aspect. I think there's something wrong with your brain. Chengju's expression was ugly. Meng Shi's eyebrows twitched. It was rare that she didn't retort. Tang Bao saw this, and a meaningful smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. When they were almost done eating, the three of them didn't say anything about leaving. They talked about the studio. Then there was a knock on the door of the private room. Because they had to take care of Meng Shi and Chengju's privacy, they usually looked for a private room when they went out to eat. Someone came in. Tang Bao took a look, and her body stiffened. Was this Zhang Chao? I'll go out for a while. Tang Bao stood up and walked out of the private room. She closed the door and walked to the other side. She asked Zhang Chao, "Is Di Hao Qian here?" "No. The young master asked me to pick you up. I've already told him that I'll go back after eating. I'm not done here yet." Tang Bao lowered her voice, but she couldn't suppress her anger. Di Hao Qian was too much. He was so nosy even when it came to eating. The young master said that if I'm not done eating, I'll have to wait. Tang Bao couldn't help but admire Di Hao Qian. If Zhang Chao was here, how could she eat peacefully? Wouldn't he be pressuring her like a burden? Forget it. It was useless to scold Zhang Chao. Tang Bao took a few deep breaths outside the door before pushing open the door of the private room and walking in with a normal expression. "It's getting late. You guys have traveled a long way. Go back and rest early," Tang Bao said. "Okay," Chengju said. Meng Shi and Chengju's apartment was arranged by Tang Bao. It was very private and belonged to a high-end level. There were a total of 2 apartments on the first floor. Meng Shi and Chengju happened to have 1 apartment each and became neighbors. In the elevator, Meng Shi asked her, "Who do you think that man who came in just now?" Tanga looks very nervous. "Friends. Does a friend need to look so nervous? Then why didn't you just ask Brother Tang when we were in the private room?" Chengju was not very interested in his question. If Meng Shi had not seen that Tang Bao was unwilling to say, he would not have held back from asking. Meng Shi's gaze fell on Chengju, sizing him up. "I find that you are becoming more and more impolite to me. I am your senior. Do you understand?" Based on the time of his debut, that was indeed the case. Moreover, although they used to be in the same agency, they were not the same manager. Meng Shi's starting point was very high, but she had just become popular when she was frozen. Therefore, he didn't have any interaction with Meng Shi at all, let alone be familiar with him. Meng Shi's words were not wrong. She should indeed call him senior. "Why aren't you talking? I find you really boring." Monzi began to criticize her. When Chengju heard him say that, she didn't want to talk anymore. The elevator door opened and she walked out. Behind her, Meng Shi smiled evilly. "What's wrong? Are you angry?" "No. Look at how cold you are. How are you going to find a boyfriend? Women should be gentle like water, lively and cute." Chengju opened the door and closed it. Meng Shi stood outside the door. Tang Bao returned to the castle. When he entered the hall, he saw Di Hao Qian sitting on the sofa watching TV. The TV was actually playing a cartoon. Di Hao Qian was looking straight ahead, but he was not watching the TV. This was definitely not something he liked to watch. He must have accompanied the babies while they were watching TV. Then the 2 babies were sleeping while he was still here. Tang Bao walked forward and turned off the TV. "Isn't it a waste of electricity if it's on all the time?" Tang Bao walked up to Di Hao Qian and said in a weak voice, "What's wrong with you? Didn't I tell you that I would be back after dinner? You actually let Zhang Chao go. Can't you give me some face in front of them? If I didn't give you face, the one who would appear in front of you would be me." Di Hao Qian raised his dark eyes. They were deep and cold, and he was imposing without being angry. "Then Zhang Chao will go. If he goes with you, the effect will be the same," Tang Bao said unwillingly. "I should set a rule for you. If you have any social engagements at night, it can't be after 7 o'clock. Who finishes dinner at 7 o'clock? And the travel time, why is it more than that?" Tang Bao was unhappy. "Then don't go. How can you say that? Just say that you have a strict upbringing." Di Hao Qian helped her find an excuse. However, Tang Bao was too embarrassed to say such an excuse to outsiders. How could she not care about her reputation? "You see, I basically don't go out for social engagements. I reject all of them unless I have to. I know my limits. If you know your limits, then why did you get drunk?" Di Hao Qian stood up, grabbed Tang Bao's waist, and pulled her into his arms domineeringly and forcefully, Ah, what are you doing? Tang Bao was caught off guard and fell in his arms. She was plastered against his strong chest. It made her face heat up slightly. Di Hao, MMM. Before she could finish saying his name, her small mouth was blocked. Don't. MMM. As soon as Tang Bao spoke, she was deeply occupied, and she could not make sound. Tang Bao's breath and strength were taken away. In the end, she did not struggle and let Di Hao Ian kiss her deeply. He only let her go when she was almost out of breath. She fell into Di Hao Ian's arms dizzily and lay on his chest, gasping for breath. Did Di Hao Ian have to make her feel like her body was emptied every time they kissed? Very good, you didn't drink. Tang Bao's brain was slightly sober after she was given oxygen. When she heard Di Hao Ian's words, she raised her head and stared at him with her watery eyes. You kissed me just to prove whether I drank or not. MMM, you can totally ask me. I'll tell you whether I drank or not. Tang Bao was devastated by his method. I like to verify it myself. Now, I believe that you didn't drink, Di Hao Ian said calmly. Tang Bao bit her lip and broke away from Di Hao Ian's arms. I'm going to see the child. After that, she turned and left the hall. Bowling is here too. Tang Bao stopped in her tracks and turned to look at Di Hao Ian. He's here? Did you force him to come here? I don't think so. I bought him a horse. He's happy, Di Hao Ian said calmly. Tang Bao looked at Di Hao Ian suspiciously. However, it was normal for children to like horses. So, should she believe Di Hao Ian? Anyway, Tang Bao felt that Di Hao Ian's reaction to Di Bowling was strange. It was as if he was treating the two treasures. Maybe she was thinking too much. Aren't you going to see the child? Chapter 874. Okay, I'll go take a look. Tang Bao turned around and went upstairs. She first went to Xiao Bao's room, but she found no one on the bed or in the room. Tang Bao didn't need to think to know where the little guy had gone. It wasn't the first time. She went to Bao's room. She pushed the door open and entered the room. Sure enough, she saw something unusual on the bed. Bao was lying flat, but there was another small figure curled up under the blanket. Tang Bao smiled, but didn't expose her immediately. She pretended to ask Bao, "Have you seen Xiao Bao? I've been looking for her for a long time, but I didn't see her." That's strange. Where did she go? Xiao Bao, baby, why can't mommy see you? Bao knew that mommy was doing it on purpose, so he didn't say anything. Besides, Xiao Bao was wriggling around under the blanket like a little bug. It was impossible not to see her. Tang Bao didn't pull the blanket away. Xiao Bao couldn't hold it in any longer. She crawled out of the blanket and said, "Mommy, I'm here." Wow, so you were hiding under Big Brother's blanket. I was wondering why I couldn't find you. Tang Bao played along. Hee hee, Mommy, am I very good at hide and seek? Xiao Bao hooked her arms around Tang Bao's neck. Tang Bao hugged her soft little body. She suddenly felt that her daughter was better at acting like a spoiled child than her son. She felt that she had given birth to a son just to look after her. That was the case when they were in Boiling City. If she was hurt anywhere, her little face, oh my God, was exactly the same as Di Hao Ian's. "Mommy, why are you only back now? I've been waiting for you," Xiao Bao said in a tender voice. "So you slept here with Big Brother?" Tang Bao tapped her little nose. "You have your own room. You can't always sleep here." "Why not? Don't tell me you want to squeeze in with Big Brother when you grow up." Tang Bao laughed. "But I'm still young now. I won't sleep with you when I grow up." Tang Bao thought to himself, "It sounds nice now, but it won't be good if I get used to it." However, looking at Xiao Bao's pure and innocent eyes, his heart softened and he let her sleep here. "You can't sleep here next time, okay? All right then." Xiao Bao agreed, feeling slightly wronged. "Okay, get under the quilt." Tang Bao put her on the bed and covered her with the quilt. There was no need to worry about the two of them kicking off their blankets and catching a cold. After all, it wasn't their first time sleeping together. Back in Boiling City, the bed was so small that two people could squeeze together to sleep. Tang Bao kissed their foreheads and left the room. When he passed by Di Bowling's room, Tang Bao paused. She thought of what Di Hao Ian had said to her. At that time, she said that she was going to see the children. Di Hao Yin said that Di Bowling was also there. Wasn't he reminding her not to forget to see Di Bowling? Tang Bao knocked on the door and pushed it open. She saw that Di Bowling wasn't asleep either. He was leaning against the head of the bed, wearing a small nightgown, with a cold expression on his face. When Di Bowling saw Tang Bao enter, his cold expression immediately disappeared. His eyes flashed as he looked at Tang Bao. Tang Bao thought to herself, "Is this the reason for the lack of maternal love?" Tang Bao smiled and walked over. "Why aren't you asleep yet? I'm waiting for you." Tang Bao was slightly surprised. She had only known Di Bowling for a short while, and he was already so dependent on her. In terms of blood relations, only Di Hao Yin was related to her. "Do you want me to tell you a story? I want to sleep with you." Can't I?" Di Bowling asked. Tang Bao really couldn't refuse a child with such expectant eyes. However, she couldn't resist that demon Di Hao Yin either. She asked him, "Why do you want to sleep with me? I want to confess to you. I like you." Tang Bao stared blankly at Di Bowling, her face suspiciously red. What was this child trying to do? "And that man is a tyrant. I'll treat you very well." Why did Tang Bao feel that this little fresh meat was a little too tender? She didn't feel burdened. She just thought that he was cute and interesting. A tyrant. That description was very apt. "Sure. If you're happy, you can come and play often," Tang Bao said. "I know that you don't sleep with me because of that tyrant. Before you came back, I slept on your bed, and then he brought me here." Tang Bao was surprised. This was a test of Di Hao Yin's patience, and he actually continued to stay here. This was really unlike Di Hao Yin's possessive and perverted style. After comforting Di Bowling, Tang Bao returned to her room. Di Hao Yin was walking out of the bathroom. "Go and take a bath. I filled the bathtub with water for you. You'll feel more comfortable soaking in it." Tang Bao looked at Di Hao Yin's handsome face. "Di Hao Yin, are you hiding something from me?" Di Hao Yin's dark eyes narrowed slightly. He looked up and looked deeply at Tang Bao. Then he closed in on her and pressed her against the wall. His voice was low and hoarse. "You can tell." Tang Bao's clear eyes were slightly stunned. "You're really hiding something from me? I just bought a different flavor today. I can't keep using the cherry flavor. Although the color is similar, I still need to change the flavor. I wanted to give you a surprise. Why don't you guess what flavor I bought?" Tang Bao listened to him in a daze. She suddenly realized what Di Hao Yin was talking about. Her face flushed red and she was slightly angry. "I'm talking to you seriously. I'm also very serious." Di Hao Yin's aura was hot. "Then, other than this, is there anything else you're hiding from me? Is it related to Di Bowling?" "No." Di Hao Yin narrowed his dark eyes and kissed Tang Bao. Tang Bao turned her face away. "Didn't you say that you wanted me to take a bath? You're not allowed to come in." "I'll take a bath alone." After saying that, she pulled away from Di Hao Yin and stuffed his briefcase into his hands. Then, she turned and ran into the bathroom. After entering the bathroom, she pulled off her tie. She felt that she was almost unable to breathe. She was also oppressed by Di Hao Yin's aura and body. She really felt that it was strange, which was why she had asked Di Hao Yin that. Was she being too sensitive? The bathroom door was pushed open. "You're letting your imagination run wild again?" Di Hao Yin walked in. "Since you're letting your imagination run wild, why don't we do something more meaningful?" "Hey, Di Hao Yin!" Tang Bao stepped back. Then, she was pressed into the bathtub by Di Hao Yin. Chapter 875. It was better to let Di Bowling go back home for the time being. He would bring him back when he was done with his problem. The next day, Di Bowling went back home, taking the black pony with him. When they were outside the school, Di Hao Yin had told him that he could go to the castle anytime he wanted. What was different this time was that he would not force him to go. At the very least, he would not make Tang Bao suspicious. Di Bowling did not say anything, his face cold. Although he found Di Hao Yin's words strange, he would not insist on going to the castle. However, there was a slight disappointment in his heart. It was terrible. When he was in his room that night, Di Bowling called Di Junbai, but no one answered. Di Junbai was imprisoned, so his belongings, including his cell phone, would definitely be confiscated. There were specialized people keeping an eye on things, so they could observe the situation at any time. Therefore, when Di Bowling used the phone in his room to call Di Junbai and left a message, it reached Di Hao Ian's ears. Di Hao Ian sat in his office, his face cold and frightening. He knew from the beginning that he could not do anything to Di Junbai. At least he had his concerns. Or should he just make Di Junbai disappear forever? Di Bowling was still young, after all, and the trauma in his heart could be easily healed. Just as Di Hao Ian was about to pick up his cell phone and make Di Junbai disappear from this world, his cell phone rang. Di Hao Ian's eyes darkened when he saw the caller ID. Xiao Bao had an accident at school. Something fell from a high place, and his head was bleeding. There was a deep cut on his shoulder, and he was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment. After Di Hao Ian went to the hospital, Xiao Bao was still in the operating room. More importantly, Bao was still standing outside the operating room. Di Hao Ian frowned and looked at him. Bao's face was pale and tense. There was blood on his face. Di Hao Ian lifted his face and asked, "Are you hurt?" Bao shook his head and looked at Di Hao Ian with tears in his eyes. Di Hao Ian was relieved to find that his face was only stained with blood. Xiao Bao is injured, but his life is not in danger. Don't worry. She lost a lot of blood. Di Hao Ian picked him up. I promise you, she'll be fine. Yes. Bao nodded and buried his face in Di Hao Ian's neck with red eyes. Di Hao Ian asked the person beside him, "Don't let Tang Bao know about this for the time being. Don't worry, young master. Young madam doesn't know." The door to the operating room was pushed open and the doctor rushed out. The child blood type is very special. It's Rh negative. Although the bleeding has been stopped, he still needs a blood transfusion. Di Hao Ian's face darkened. How could he and Tang Bao have this blood type? It was too obvious whether she was his and Tang Bao's daughter. Is there any in the hospital? Di Hao Ian asked with a cold face and an intimidating aura. I'm sorry, young master. The hospital is in urgent need of blood transfusions for such patients this morning. Without Di Hao Ian saying anything, Hiju had already made the call. In D City, there was nothing that couldn't be obtained. In less than 20 minutes, the blood was sent to the operating room. After the blood transfusion, Xiao Bao returned to normal and passed the critical stage. After arranging for Xiao Bao to be placed in a VIP ward, Bao stayed by the bed and did not leave her side. She's fine now. She'll wake up in about half an hour, Di Hao Ian said to him. Bao looked at the bandage on Xiao Bao's forehead and the bandage around her exposed shoulder and nodded with red eyes. Di Hao Ian walked out of the ward and said to Hiju, "Have you told the doctor about the bloody incident?" "Don't worry, young master. What about young madam? I'll give Xiao Bao a call when she wakes up." It was better to see Xiao Bao awake than to see her in a coma. Then, his gaze became sharp. Replace anyone who caused this incident and made a mistake in the supervision of the school. Yes. Di Hao Ian walked into the ward. Bao's eyes were still red, and he did not dare to touch Xiao Bao. Di Hao Ian walked over and sat him on his lap. "Are you scared? Xiao Bao will be in a lot of pain." "I know. You don't have to blame yourself. It's not your fault. It's a mistake in the school. It won't happen again. When Xiao Bao recovers, she could be the same as before." Bao looked at Di Hao Ian and felt better. However, he felt sorry for Xiao Bao. Why wasn't he the one who was injured? He did not want to see her lying on the hospital bed at all. "Well, I told the doctor just now. You can't tell mommy, okay?" "Okay." Di Hao Ian thought of something and asked when Xiao Bao was in trouble, "Did Di Bowling see it too?" "I didn't notice him. He only noticed Xiao Bao at that time. He did not know anything else." There was a knock on the door, and Hiju walked in. "Young master, the school leaders are here. They're scared out of their wits. I don't want to see them." Di Hao Ian narrowed his eyes coldly and thought of something. "Get someone to check on Di Bowling at school." Hiju understood what he meant and turned to leave. "Daddy, do you like Di Bowling a lot?" Bao looked up and asked. "Do you hate him?" "Not really." Di Hao Ian patted his head. "He's your younger brother." Bao thought for a while. Was Daddy referring to his cousin? Xiao Bao, who was lying on the bed, showed signs of waking up. Di Hao Ian put Bao down and went closer. Xiao Bao. Xiao Bao opened her weak eyes and looked at Di Haoyan. She immediately pouted and cried, Daddy, good girl, Daddy's here. Does it hurt? Di Haoyan touched her pale face and asked, Yes, it won't hurt any more in 2 days. Do you want Daddy to blow on it for you? Di Haoyan asked. Yes. Di Haoyan blew on her forehead and below her shoulders. Xiao Bao immediately felt better. She looked to the side and saw her Bao. She called out softly, Brother, I'll be here with you. Don't be afraid, Bao said with heartache. Okay. Xiao Bao turned her head and asked Di Haoyan, Daddy, is Mommy still working? I'm going to make a call. Mommy doesn't know yet. Then don't tell Mommy. Mommy will be worried. Xiao Bao wanted to see her mommy very much, but she was also sensible. No need. She should know. Di Haoyan patted her head and went out of the ward. He stood by the window and called Tang Bao. Tang Bao was still in the studio talking to Meng, Shi, and Chengju about the makeup shoot when his cell phone rang. He was stunned when he saw that it was Di Haoyan calling him. Why was he calling at this time? Tang Bao did not know that Di Haoyan had left tea. So, could it be that he wanted to call her and ask her to go to tea to find him? Tang Bao took his cell phone and went outside to answer the call. What's wrong? I'm working. Xiao Bao hurt her arm in school and is now in the hospital. What? Is it serious? It's not serious. Tang Bao put down her work and went to the hospital that Di Haoyan had mentioned. Di Haoyan stood outside the ward and waited for her. Chapter 876. Don't worry, she's fine. Bao is talking to her inside. How did this happen? Was the school too careless? Tang Bao was worried about his daughter and frowned unhappily. I've already taken care of the school. Why didn't you tell me until now? I was afraid that you would be worried. Di Haoyan did not hide it. Tang Bao glanced at him. If you were afraid that I would be worried, you should have told me earlier. I'll go and see her. Tang Bao entered the ward and saw that Xiao Bao's head and shoulders were bandaged with white gauze. Xiao Bao's face became even paler. He could not help but wonder if it was really not serious. Mommy. Xiao Bao saw Tang Bao and wanted to cry again. I'm sorry, Mommy is late. Tang Bao did not dare to touch her. It's okay. I told Daddy not to tell you, Xiao Bao said with a puffed-up face. Tang Bao felt sorry for her. Even if he didn't tell you, Mommy was worried about you. Does it still hurt? It doesn't hurt anymore. Daddy blew it for me, Xiao Bao said. Then Mommy will blow it for you too, okay? Okay. Tang Bao blew it for her, just like Di Haoyan did. Tang Bao accompanied Xiao Bao by the bed. Xiao Bao fell asleep not long after. Tang Bao dragged Di Haoyan out. Tell me honestly, is Xiao Bao's injury really not serious? Tang Bao questioned. 2 stitches on her head and 5 stitches below her collarbone. You call this not serious? Tang Bao could not believe it. If I said it was serious over the phone, what would you do? Di Haoyan asked. What would Tang Bao do? He would be so scared that he would not be able to walk steadily. He might even drop his phone on the ground. He might even start crying on the way home. So, I said that on purpose. Tang Bao knew that Di Haoyan was comforting him in his own way, so he did not say anything. Xiao Bao has always been fine. She has never been injured before. Now that such an accident happened, she is especially afraid of pain. She must be terrified. Fortunately, Xiao Bao was not injured at all. Otherwise, the Tang Bao would have noticed that there was something wrong with the blood type and realized that Xiao Bao was not her child. By the way, when can you be discharged? The wound will heal and stay in the hospital for observation for 3 to 4 days. Only then can he be discharged. Then I'll stay in the hospital to accompany her for the next few days. I'll push back my work. Anyway, no matter what, his child was more important than anything else. I'm here too, said Di Haoyan. Why are you here? You're bringing Bao home. Tang Bao was surprised. Do you think I can leave you here alone? Di Haoyan's face was cold. What does it matter? I'm taking care of Xiao Bao. I'm not the one who's sick. No, it's settled then. Bao will also stay here. You won't feel comfortable letting him stay back. I'll get another suite next door. Want to be troublesome? What's troublesome about it? Di Haoyan asked. It was indeed not troublesome. After a while, Li In and Zhongli arrived, along with other servants. Fortunately, the entire floor had been booked. Otherwise, others would have been scared and thought that darkness had invaded. Therefore, the family moved to the hospital temporarily. There were 2 beds in the suite. Bao slept with Di Hao Yin, and Tang Bao slept alone. Originally, Tang Bao wanted to sleep with Bao. This was not the castle, and it was impossible for Bao to sleep alone. However, she could not sleep with Di Hao Yin in the suite and let Bao sleep alone. However, Di Hao Yin did not look too happy when he heard that she wanted to sleep with Bao. In the end, he did not let Bao sleep alone. Instead, he slept with Bao, and Tang Bao slept alone. Tang Bao leaned against the headboard and looked at Xiao Bao's report in his hand. Then his gaze fell on the blood type. This blood type seems to be like mine. Di Hao Yin's dark eyes were deep, and he did not speak. Does Bao take after you? I still don't know the blood type of the 2 babies. Tang Bao looked at the small figure lying next to Di Hao Yin and said with a smile, he looks like you, so he must have your blood type. Okay, Di Hao Yin replied. Seeing Tang Bao rub his eyes, he said, go to sleep. Tang Bao looked at Bao. Aren't you going to sleep? Yeah. Bao closed his eyes. Tang Bao yawned, put down the things in his hands, and lay down. Good night. Di Hao Yin looked at him. Good night. Tang Bao closed his eyes and went to sleep. Di Hao Yin did not sleep. After Tang Bao and Bao fell asleep, he got up and went to Tang Bao's bed. He held her in his arms. In the next second, the sleeping Tang Bao turned over and snuggled into Di Hao Yin's arms. Di Hao Yin's dark eyes were deep, and the corners of his mouth were slightly raised in a doting smile. Then he could not help but lift Tang Bao's chin and kiss her seductive little mouth. Bao, who was in the bed next to theirs, opened his eyes and saw his daddy secretly kissing his mommy. His little face could not help but turn red, and he quickly turned his back to them. When Tang Bao woke up, she found herself in Di Hao Yin's arms. She was stunned. Why are you sleeping in my bed? Where's Bao? He woke up a long time ago. He's with Xiao Bao now. Tang Bao looked up. Sure enough, there was no one in the bed next to hers. What time is it now? Did I sleep for too long? No, Bao woke up too early, Di Hao Yin said. What for breakfast? I don't know either. Tang Bao got out of bed to brush her teeth. I'll go check on Xiao Bao later. After washing up, she went to the room next door. As expected, Bao was staying by Xiao Bao's side and talking to her. Daddy, Mommy, the 2 babies called out to them. Tang Bao walked over and held Xiao Bao's soft little hand. Does it still hurt? It didn't hurt as much yesterday as it did now. Did it hurt as much as yesterday? Tang Bao's expression changed immediately. Di Hao Yin explained to her. She meant that it didn't hurt as much today as yesterday. You know that she doesn't understand these things. Tang Bao heaved a sigh of relief. Looking at Xiao Bao's complexion, she did look a lot better than yesterday. They didn't have breakfast? Tang Bao asked Di Hao Yin. No, they were waiting for you to eat together. Tang Bao glared at him. Then why didn't you wake me up? Are you going to let them starve? A family should eat breakfast together. Di Hao Yin asked, the 2 babies, right? The 2 babies immediately replied, yes. Tang Bao glared at Di Hao Yin. Just teach them like that. During the day, Tang Bao received a call from Meng Shi, who insisted on coming to the hospital to visit Xiao Bao. At that time, Tang Bao left in a hurry and told them that Xiao Bao was injured and was in the hospital. They wanted to come last night, but Tang Bao didn't let them. If they didn't come today, they would feel uncomfortable, especially Meng Shi, who could make a lot of noise. However, this was reasonable. After all, when they were in Boiling City, Meng Shi and Chengju also played very well with the 2 babies and felt very sorry for the 2 babies. It wouldn't be right if they didn't come. When Meng Shi and Chengju came, they were actually carrying bags of various sizes. The key was that they were tightly wrapped. Sunglasses, masks, and hats. Chapter 877. How is Xiao Bao now? Mengshi took off his mask, sunglasses, and hat. Chengju naturally took it off as well. When the 2 babies saw them, they were pleasantly surprised. Uncle Meng Shi, Auntie Changju. Xiao Bao is so obedient. Let me see where you're hurt. Meng Shi saw the bandages on Xiao Bao's head and shoulder, and his expression did not look too good. What's wrong with the school? Shouldn't we be more careful with such a big child? What kind of lousy school is this? What did the school say? Chengju asked Tang Bao. It's an accident. This kind of thing happened too suddenly and can't be avoided, Tang Bao said helplessly. Meng Shi looked at the silent and unfathomable Di Hao Ian and said meaningfully, when Xiao Bao was in Boiling City, such a situation never happened. Not to mention such serious injuries. Even a strand of hair rarely fell out. Tang Bao and Chengju both felt that the atmosphere in the room had become terrifying. Di Hao Ian's expression was gloomy. What does this have to do with coming to D City? Tang Bao quickly said, I brought her here, so I have a problem too. Such an accident can't be foreseen. Fortunately, my boyfriend is here. Otherwise, I would definitely be flustered if such a problem occurred. After saying that, he looked at Di Hao Ian gently. Chengju felt that when Tang Bao said the word boyfriend, the man's expression became even scarier. Was he not her boyfriend? Did he not like being called that? Tang Bao stood up to liven up the atmosphere. Xiao Bao, brother Meng Shi, and sister Chengju are here to see you. Are you happy? Yes. Chengju placed the doll she bought beside Xiao Bao as if she was accompanying her. It's so beautiful. Thank you, Auntie Chengju. Xiao Bao was happy. You're welcome. As long as you like it. Auntie Chengju is happy, Chengju said gently. Meng Shi and Chengju did not stay in the ward for long and were ready to leave. However, before they left, Meng Shi stopped Bao. Bao, send us off. Tang, you don't have to. Tang Bao, who had just stood up, was stunned. What was going on? How could he send Bao? She couldn't help but look at Di Hao Ian, whose face was calm and dignified. Could it be related to him? She wanted to go out and take a look, but Di Hao Ian grabbed her wrist and stopped her. Tang Bao was even more puzzled. Outside the door, Meng Shi squatted down and asked Bao, there are no outsiders here. Tell me honestly, how did that man treat you after you came to Imperial City? You mean Daddy? Bao asked. What Daddy? I was talking about Di Hao Ian. Yes, he's Daddy. Then what's your daddy's name? Meng Shi frowned. Mommy. Meng Shi and Chengju. How can you call me that? It's disrespectful to call you Daddy that. Meng Shi couldn't accept it. In the past, he had heard the two babies call them Daddy and Daddy. How did they become Mommy now? But they're married. That's how they should address each other, Bao said with a serious expression. What? Meng Shi and Chengju were surprised at the same time. Bao looked at them calmly. Well, when did they get married? The two of them didn't doubt Bao's words. Meng Shi asked in shock. They got married a long time ago. A long time ago? Could it be that the two of them secretly registered their marriage abroad when they were in Boiling City? Meng Shi guessed. Because everyone knew that homosexuality was only legal in a certain country. Weren't Tang Ge and Di Hao Ian too fast? Weren't they too bold? Even if Meng Shi liked Tang Ge, he still didn't have the courage to get married. Meng Shi pulled Chengju aside and asked, do you believe this is true? Chengju calmed down after the shock. She wasn't as unacceptable as Meng Shi. Bao doesn't have to lie to us like this. But isn't this too ridiculous? If they really love each other, I don't think it's a big deal. Of course it's nothing for you, but Meng Shi felt as if his emotions were about to explode. He didn't dare to marry Tang Ge or anything, but he didn't know what he was thinking. He just liked Tang Ge a lot and wanted to see her all the time. He wanted to be by her side all the time. Now that he suddenly heard that he was married to another person and registered their marriage, how could he accept this? It was really unacceptable. Chengju sympathized with him. Are you upset? Meng Shi was stunned by Chengju's question and then became angry. What does it look like for two men to get married? Is it not like it? Or you can't accept it? Both, okay. Meng Shi vented his anger on Chengju. Couldn't this woman see that his feelings for Tang Ge were different? What was her motive for asking this? Chengju didn't want to talk to him. She turned to Bao and said, hurry up and go in. We'll go back first. Bao looked at the two of them and turned to enter the ward. Tang Bao who was waiting inside, saw Erbao walk in and asked, "What did they say to you?" "Nothing," Erbao said. "Nothing? You've been outside for so long." Tang Bao was suspicious. "They asked me if I was doing well in Imperial City." Erbao looked at Di Haotian and said. Tang Bao thought that it was normal for Meng Shi and Chengju to ask this. He didn't suspect anything else. Besides, if there was really something, Erbao wouldn't have kept it from her. Di Haotian didn't comment and listened to their conversation silently. In fact, he was the one who taught Erbao what he said to Meng Shi and Chengju. But it was all the truth. He and Tang Bao were married a long time ago. No one should think about things that they shouldn't. Di Haotian's phone rang. He looked at the caller ID, stood up, and went out to answer it. He answered, "Is there a problem?" "Young Master Di specially asked me to investigate carefully, and indeed I found some clues. Xiao Bao's injury wasn't an accident. It was man-made." Heju's voice came through. "It's also related to Di Junbai." Di Haotian's face instantly turned as cold as an ice cellar. "It was an accident that was arranged before Di Junbai was locked up," Heju said. "This was because when Xiao Bao was in trouble, Di Junbai was still imprisoned and couldn't get out. The only possibility was that he had prepared before." Tang Bao looked at Di Haotian, who walked in. His expression was the same as when he walked in. "T, what's the matter?" "Yes, I'm handling some matters. I have to go out for a while. I'll be back before dinner." "You don't have to be here in the first place," Tang Bao said. "Then hurry up and go." "Okay." Di Haotian patted Erbao's head. "Listen to Mommy and take care of your sister. I'll come over when the matter is settled." "Okay." Di Haotian left the hospital and appeared in front of Di Junbai. At this moment, Di Junbai's suit had holes and bloodstains because of the torture. Chapter 878. He exuded a sense of superiority and dignity. "Other than hurting Xiao Bao, what else do you want?" Di Haotian's low and cold voice was even more terrifying than the torture instruments. "I think the Tang Bao still hasn't realized that Xiao Bao isn't her daughter, right? You definitely won't let her know. However, is there any paper in this world that can cover fire? Even if there is, how long can it last?" Di Junbai raised his face. His facial features were similar to Di Haotian's, but he appeared more gentle and decent. "What exactly do you want?" Di Haotian asked darkly. "I said I want a Tang Bao. Will you get it to me?" Di Junbai asked. "Don't even think about it." Di Haotian stretched out his hand and grabbed his neck tightly, his fingers tightening in anger. Di Junbai's pale face turned red from the lack of oxygen. He couldn't speak. Di Junbai didn't say anything, let alone struggle, and let him strangle him. It was as if he didn't care about his own life. From the moment he was locked in here, he didn't struggle at all. He didn't even beg for mercy. Di Haotian's cold and terrifying black eyes stared fixedly at Di Junbai's pale face. He really wanted to strangle him and make him disappear forever. However, Di Junbai was more shrewd than he thought. How much had he done behind the scenes? Would it harm Di Bowling? Would it hurt the Tang Bao? These were all things he couldn't find out now. Just as Di Junbai was about to stop breathing, Di Haotian released his grip. Cough, cough, cough. Di Junbai fell to the ground and knelt on one knee. He panted heavily to relieve the pain. "I'll give you one more chance. What else did you do?" "Brother, you're so capable. Why don't you investigate it yourself? I believe that you'll find out." Di Junbai felt a burning sensation in his throat, but his words were steady and calm. Di Haotian's aura was terrifying. "However, I can give you some clues. I've already been merciful with Xiao Bao's matter this time. As for what happened after that, it was hard to say how much damage it caused. After all, I'm locked up here, and it's not easy to control me. You want me to let you go?" Di Haotian's voice was as cold as ice. "Bowling is looking for me, right? In your eyes, other than the fact that you can't bear to see Tang Bao get hurt, you can harden your heart to everyone else, including your own son. But don't you feel sad when you see Bowling's eyes that are so similar to Tang Bao's?" Di Junbai asked. Di Haotian's blood was boiling with violence, but it was only boiling in his body. Finally, he opened his mouth and said in an extremely terrifying voice, "Let him go." Di Junbai was stunned. When he looked up, Di Hao Ian's figure had already disappeared outside the door. Then the corners of his mouth curled up. "Di Hao Ian, there are times when you are forced to compromise. This is just the beginning. There's still a long way to go. Let's play slowly." They were finally discharged from the hospital. The happiest person was Xiao Bao. Tang Bao carefully dressed her in a beautiful dress to prevent touching her wound. As he dressed her, he observed her expression and asked, "Did Mommy hurt you?" "No." Xiao Bao shook her little head. "All right, Mommy, can I play on the slide when we go back?" "Of course not. Aren't you afraid of the pain?" "It doesn't hurt now. The wound will split open and bleed. Do you still want to play?" Tang Bao was not trying to scare her. He was just afraid of being frightened by his naughty daughter. Xiao Bao pouted and looked very wronged. Tang Bao could not help but laugh when he saw his daughter's expression. The door of the ward opened and Di Haoyan walked in. The little girl immediately said pitifully, "Daddy, Mommy said that I can't play on the slide after I'm discharged." "Listen to Mommy," Di Haoyan replied without hesitation. Xiao Bao looked at Bao, who was extremely calm beside the bed, in confusion. "Big brother, you were right. Daddy really listens to Mommy." "Mommy, are you still going to work after we go home?" Xiao Bao asked. Tang Bao realized that the child was especially clingy and smiled helplessly. "I'll accompany you for 2 days first, okay? Then I'll go to work. Yay? If only I'm sick every day. Then I can be with Mommy every day." Xiao Bao shouted happily. Tang Bao said sternly, "You can't say that. Mommy, did I say something wrong?" Xiao Bao asked pitifully. "Who will be sick every day? Poo, poo, poo. Quick, poo 3 times, Tang Bao instructed her. Xiao Bao did not understand, but she still did as she was told. She pouted and puked 3 times. Tang Bao did not expect that Xiao Bao would want to be sick every day just to be clingy to her. Although children's words carried no harm, Tang Bao still did not want to hear such words. After she was dressed, Di Haoyan hugged her. "If you want to be sick every day, let the doctor give you injections every day." "I don't want." Xiao Bao was frightened. "Don't talk nonsense next time, okay?" "Okay." Xiao Bao stuck out her tongue. Mommy could have just told her to poo, but Daddy had to scare her. These few days in the hospital, she had been getting injections on the back of her hand and buttocks. It was a very scary thing. Although Daddy scared her, her little hands still clung onto Di Haoyan's neck. Di Junbai drove into the villa. It was 5 o'clock when he reached home. He was in a neat suit, looking clean and tidy. His expression was normal, but he looked a little like he had just returned from a business trip. Li Yuhai was walking out with a drink. When she saw Di Junbai, she was very surprised. "Junbai, you're back? Why didn't you tell us in advance? You didn't even tell us that you were on a business trip, let alone coming back. Even if you don't care about us at home, you should at least consider your son's feelings." Li Yuhai scolded him. "Sorry, T had something to do at the last minute, so I didn't have time to tell you," Di Junbai said simply. Then he asked, "Where's Bowling?" At the mention of this, Li Yuhuai's expression did not look too good. "That Di Hao Ian, I don't know what's going on, but he actually gave Bowling a horse. Bowling is riding it now. When you weren't around, Bowling was basically at the castle all the time. He even said that the child wanted to stay there. I think there's something wrong with the people at the castle." Di Junbai restrained his gaze and smiled faintly. "You're thinking too much. How could there be a problem? Maybe he likes bowling. You know, there are very few people who don't like bowling. Give it to me." Li Yuhai handed the drink in her hand to Di Junbai. Di Junbai followed Li Yuhai to find Di Bowling. When they arrived, Di Bowling was not riding the horse. He stood beside it and stroked the shiny black mane with his small hand. "You like it a lot?" Di Bowling was stunned and turned around. "Daddy, are you not happy to see Daddy?" Di Junbai smiled and handed him the drink. Di Bowling took the drink and held it. He looked at Di Junbai. "I'm happy." He did not miss it too much. Or rather, he was used to it. Chapter 879. Drink it. Di Junbai patted his head. Di Bowling finished the drink in the cup and passed it to Di Junbai. Di Junbai passed the cup to the servant beside him and went forward to touch the pony. Your uncle gave it to you. Are you happy? I didn't ask for it. He wanted to give it to me, Di Bowling said. He was right. That was indeed the case. Then what do you think of your uncle? Di Junbai asked. Di Bowling's face was deep in thought, and he seemed to be struggling. Di Junbai's gaze fell on his face, and he looked away. You don't have to tell me if you don't know. It's okay. He's okay. Di Bowling squeezed out such an evaluation after a long time. In fact, in his heart, Di Hao Ian was no different from Tyrant. He either forced him to eat the dishes he didn't like, didn't let him sleep with his wife, or carried him around without any gentle expression. He couldn't be compared to his father. However, he didn't want to say those things out loud. Di Junbai didn't have much of an expression on his face. He didn't continue the topic and asked, Are you hungry? Let's go back and eat. Okay. Di Junbai held Di Bowling's little hand and walked home. Looking at Di Bowling's attitude, Di Hao Ian really cared about his biological son. It was precisely because he cared that he was timid when he did things. When the person had a weakness, they would be like this. He felt that life now was much more interesting than before. In the morning, the elevator opened and Di Junbai walked out of the elevator. He saw Di Hao Ian walking towards his personal elevator and he nodded slightly. Young master. Di Hao Ian acted as if he didn't see him and walked past him. Then he entered the elevator. After the elevator door closed, the temperature in the elevator plummeted. The poor secretary didn't know who had offended the young master. Wasn't his expression normal when he came out of the office just now? During this period, they only met Di Junbai. He didn't dare to think about it. After all, working for Di Hao Ian was definitely stressful. Fortunately, he was experienced. When Tang Bao returned to the studio, he saw Di Hao Ian sitting in her office. No one dared to pass by her office for miles. This happened every time Di Hao Ian plummeted. The main reason was that his aura was too strong, so no one dared to approach him. Are you waiting for me to eat? Didn't I tell you that I might not come back? Tang Bao put down his briefcase and asked. I'm not back now. Tang Bao thought to himself. If I don't come back, will you just wait like this? However, when she thought about Di Hao Ian's patience, she had nothing to say. Come here. Di Hao Ian looked at her with his dark eyes. Tang Bao hesitated for a moment. You're not eating? Although she said that, under Di Hao Ian's aura, she still walked over obediently. Di Hao Ian grabbed her wrist and pulled her over. Tang Bao fell into his strong arms and sat on his lap. Wait a minute. Tang Bao nervously wanted to get up. Don't move. I'll close the door. The door was still open. If anyone came, they would not even need to knock and could just come in. They would also see the ambiguous scene in the office. She was a man now, and many of the staff in the studio had just been hired. How would they see such an exciting scene? What are you afraid of? We are legitimate. Di Hao Ian not only wanted to hug her, but he also wanted to kiss her. He directly put Tang Bao in his arms, pinched her chin, and kissed her forcefully. Tang Bao wanted to get up, but Di Hao Ian swallowed her mouth. Her eyes were filled with astonishment, and she was afraid that someone would come into the office. Don't. Tang Bao struggled. When she could finally breathe, she was kissed again. At this moment, a car stopped in front of Ibao's studio. It was an expensive car. The person inside must be of high status. Just as they were waiting for the long legs to get out, a short leg appeared first. Then, a handsome 3-year-old boy got out. His face was cold and expressionless. Then, a little girl got out of the car. She was wearing a beautiful princess dress and looked soft and cute. The two children were as cute and pink as if they had been carefully carved. People who saw them couldn't help but want to pinch their little faces. Zhongli followed behind. Looking at the studio in front, he asked, Is this the place? The chauffeur said, This is the place. But young master and young mistress, is it okay if we don't tell young master and young mistress that we are coming? Zhongli had no choice but to bring them here. We want to give mommy a surprise, Xiao Bao said in a childish voice. Okay. Bao nodded. Okay then. After entering the studio, Zhongli asked the person at the front desk, Hello, May I know if Tang Bao is here? We're looking for her. Tang Bao. I'm sorry, we don't have this person here. The person at the front desk thought for a moment and said. Bao said her name is Tang Gu. Xiao Bao said, yes. Zhongli had forgotten that Tang Bao was dressed as a man outside. Naturally, no one knew the name Tang Bao. Tang Gu is our boss. Then, may I know who you are to her? The front desk couldn't just let people in, so they had to ask. Xiao Bao volunteered and said, I'm her mommy. Bao and Zhongli were speechless. The front desk was dumbfounded. Even if Tang Gu said that she was her mommy, it was impossible. A man could only be her daddy, right? But the child in front of her actually said that she was her mommy? Was she kidding? I'm sorry. These two children are Tang Ji's children, Zhongli explained with a dry smile. Before the front desk could say anything, Xiao Ding, who happened to walk over, saw them. Bao Xiao Bao. When Xiao Ding went to deliver documents to Tang Bao, she saw the two children and was familiar with them. Sister Ding, are they Agent Tang's children? The front desk was very surprised. Agent Tang is so young, but he already has two children. Xiao Ding smiled and didn't say anything about Tang Ji's privacy. She said to the two children, let's go. I'll take you to Daddy. He's in the office. Thank you, Annie Xiao Ding. You're welcome. Xiao Ding liked their little faces. They were so polite. It made her, who was single, want to get married and have children. When Xiao Ding arrived at Tang Bao's office, she saw that the door was not closed, so she went straight in. Then, she saw a scene that made her dumbfounded. Di Haoyan was straightening Tang Bao's clothes. Only then did Tang Bao realize that someone had come in. Seeing the dumbfounded Xiao Ding, Tang Bao's face couldn't be any redder. However, when he saw the two children who also appeared in the office, Tang Bao wished that he could faint. Although Zhongli, who came in later, didn't see it, he could already guess it when he saw Tang Bao's red face, red and swollen mouth, and Di Haoyan. The door was left open just like that. That was too rushed. Chapter 880. Tang Bao wished she could kick the calm and composed Di Haoyan out of the office. Tang, Manager Tang, it's nothing. I'm going out. Xiao Ding felt like she couldn't come back to her senses. She even stuttered when she spoke. After she finished speaking, she walked out with a stiff back. Why are the two of you here? Tang Bao quickly changed the topic. Otherwise, she felt like she would find a hole to hide in. Young madam, they said that they wanted to give you a surprise, Zhongli said. Tang Bao thought that this wasn't a surprise, but a shock. It must have scared Xiao Ding too. After all, only Meng Shi and Chengju knew that he liked men. Have you not eaten yet? Tang Bao asked. Not yet, Zhongli said. All right then, let's eat together. Zhongli, you come too, Tang Bao said. I won't be going. I just sent them here. I'll go back first, Zhongli said. Tang Bao thought about it. With Di Haoyan around, she couldn't sit at the same table as Di Haoyan. So she agreed. You could take the car back. They'll go back with me tonight. Okay. Zhongli left. Mommy, do you work here? Xiao Bao touched everything and looked around. Tang Bao pulled her over. You should stop moving around. I'm afraid that your wound won't recover well. Di Haoyan said, it's fine. Daddy is right. I'm really fine, Xiao Bao said. You're the most naughty. Tang Bao tapped her little nose. Di Haoyan stood up. Let's go and eat. Tang Bao could tell that Di Haoyan was unhappy. First, she had interrupted his mischief. Second, she had interrupted his mischief when he wanted to have dinner with her. However, Tang Bao was indeed very happy. At least he didn't have to endure Di Haoyan's outrageous acts. When the four of them went downstairs, Xiao Ding immediately stood up straight. Please take care, Xiao Ding said respectfully. Seeing the four people leave and the car disappear, Xiao Ding heaved a sigh of relief. Sister Ding, what's wrong? His complexion hasn't been good since just now, the receptionist asked. No, I'm fine. Xiao Ding finally understood why this man kept running over here. He would come every day. They were even more nervous than when they saw Agent Tang. This was because this person's aura was simply indescribable. The studio was so close. If such a man appeared, they would definitely be curious. If they were curious, they would ask around. Could he be an executive of T? In the end, they didn't manage to find out anything. When T's men heard who they were asking about, they immediately shut up. When they asked if he was an executive of T, they nodded and shook their heads. Mengshi walked into the studio alone. She wore sunglasses and had her hands in her pockets. She had an unruly aura. When the staff inside saw her, they instantly blushed. They deeply felt that the job they found was the best job in the world. Superstar Meng. Agent Tang went out, Xiao Ding said. I know. He deliberately avoided Tang Ge and that man. He watched them leave. Why did you still come if you knew? Do you want me to give you a call? I can call myself. Mengshi lowered her head and waved at Xiao Ding. Come here. I have something to ask you. Xiao Ding didn't understand and followed her. In Mengshi's lounge. She went straight to the point. Does that man come here often? Which man? The one next door? Xiao Ding instantly understood. You're talking about that, you know? Who is he? Is he an executive of T? Mengshi thought of this possibility. I don't know either. Judging from his aura, he shouldn't be from the lower class. Mengshi pondered. I don't know who he is either. Anyway, I know that he works in T, Xiao Ding said. Looks like the people working in T are very rich. Mengshi sneered. Yeah, I see that those people are all wearing branded clothes. Even the receptionist is wearing branded clothes. Our receptionist still wants to work there? Xiao Ding didn't like this kind of thinking. To her, she had taken a liking to Tang Ge. Otherwise, she wouldn't have followed them. Seeing that Mengshi's face was cold and silent, she asked, Superstar Meng, are you very interested in that man? Why would I be interested? I don't want to see that man at all. I'm worried about Tang Ge, so I can't ask around. After Meng, she found out that the man was married to Tang Ge. His heart felt strange. He didn't know that man at all. Could he have cheated Tang Ge's feelings? He didn't look like a good person. Superstar Meng, you're really good to Agent Tang. Xiao Ding smiled. Mengshi wasn't in the mood to smile. Instead, his expression was very ugly. He thought about it for a few days and still felt uncomfortable in his heart. Even when he entered the set to film, he felt uneasy. It was as if he had lost someone. He knew that Tang Ge was close to that man, but when he found out that they were already married, his head felt like it had been struck by lightning. How could Tang Ge find a man to marry? Their relationship had already reached such a deep level. Then what should he do? He couldn't accept it. He couldn't stand it at all. Superstar Meng, are you okay? Xiao Ding asked worriedly. I'm fine. Mengshi came back to his senses and turned to leave. Xiao Ding felt that Mengshi was so strange. Did he come over to ask so many questions? However, Xiao Ding didn't think too much about it and went to do his own thing. After Bowling came back from school, he had gotten used to looking at his horse after eating. At first, he didn't admit that this was his horse, but now he liked it more and more. This troubled him. He wasn't someone who liked to accept things from others. Or should he like it on his behalf? Bowling. Lan Wanru walked forward. Auntie, Bowling called out to her. This horse is really good looking. Did you know? I also liked horses when I was young, but because my health wasn't good, I didn't have such good luck, Lan Wanru said. Bowling listened and didn't answer her. It seems like you haven't been to Uncle's place for a while. Why didn't you go? Lan Wanru asked. Yunxi is injured. She's injured? How did she get injured? Lan Wanru's first reaction was, could it be that that man did something to the child? At school, she was hit by something. Lan Wanru thought, no wonder Bowling hadn't been to school recently. He heard from Junbai that the school was adjusting the classroom staff, so he didn't have to go to school for the time being. Presumably, this adjustment was also because of that girl's injury. Hao Ian's heart ached for his daughter. Chapter 881. Bowling didn't say anything, his little face sunken. Actually, he had been thinking about this problem for the past few days. Should he go and see her? He wanted to go, but he was still hesitant. When Lan Wanru said this, he felt that it was better to go. After all, he had played with him at that time. Children and the like didn't need to be implicated in their displeasure with adults. Let's do that. I'll go. Then I'll take you there now. Lan Wanru said. Steve Bowling didn't have any objections. He didn't know that Lan Wanru was on the blacklist in the castle. Then, the two of them prepared to go into the castle. Where are you going? Li Yuhuai didn't understand. We're going to the castle. Lan Wanru glanced at Di Bowling and said, We're going to see Brother Hao Ian's daughter. She's injured in school. Lan Wanru looked at Di Bowling, but Li Yuhuai misunderstood and thought that Di Bowling wanted to go. She went forward and said, Even if you want to go, you don't have to go now. You could go tomorrow. If they go to school tomorrow, then it'll be different. Auntie, it's okay. I'll take him there. He won't stay there. He'll come back. Lan Wanru said. Li Yuhuai saw that Di Bowling wanted to go, so she didn't say anything. She only said to Lan Wanru, Do you have to make him come back? I'll be there. What's there to worry about? Lan Wanru asked Di Bowling, Do you want to bring her a gift when you go? You can bring her something she likes to visit a sick child. Di Bowling's face was cold, as if he didn't think much of it. She likes to eat. That's even better. We'll buy her something she likes to eat on the way there, then we'll go. Di Bowling nodded, having no objections. The castle. At the dinner table, a family of 4 was having dinner. The man was handsome, the woman was beautiful, and the child was adorable and well-behaved. When the Tang Bao picked up food for the child, the Di Hao Qian would pick up food for the Tang Bao. Sometimes, when he was in a hurry, he would feed the child directly. Tang Bao always blushed and asked him to put in the bowl in front of him. She really wasn't thick-skinned enough to do this in front of the child. He didn't know how Di Hao Ian could do it so calmly. She felt that the 2 treasures were calmer than her. She didn't even know if this was a good thing. At this moment, Lien walked in. Young Master Di Bowling is here. Di Hao Qian lifted his gaze and looked behind him. Where is she? Outside the door. Lien said, looking hesitant. Di Hao Ian's eyes darkened. Tang Bao was puzzled. Why didn't you let him in? Has he eaten? But Miss Lan brought young Master Di Bowling here. Lien lowered his gaze and replied. Di Hao Ian's face darkened. It's enough to bring him in alone. Lien was about to turn around and leave when Tang Bao stopped him. Wait a minute. Then he said to Di Hao Ian, This isn't good for the child. Since they're already here, let them in. Bao, why did you let her in? Just let Di Bowling in. Be good. Di Hao Ian's expression changed, and he grabbed Tang Bao's hand. He was even more uncomfortable than Tang Bao. He was extremely nervous. Tang Bao pulled his hand back. Why didn't you let her in? Are you feeling guilty? Say that again. Di Hao Ian's expression turned cold. Tang Bao stood up and moved aside, but he still looked at him with a terrible expression. Di Hao Ian was defeated. Let them in. After Lien left, Lan Wanru and Di Bowling came in together. Lan Wanru had made the right bet. As long as they pulled Di Bowling, they could enter the castle. Lan Wanru had dressed up meticulously. Tang Bao could tell at a glance. Di Hao Ian didn't even look at Lan Wanru. He only waved to Di Bowling. Come here. Di Bowling's expression was cold, and he didn't go over. Do you want me to carry you over? Di Hao Ian threatened. Di Bowling's expression froze. His clothes were perfectly ironed. Wouldn't they wrinkle if he carried them? He walked over reluctantly. What do you want? Have you eaten? We ate and came over, Lan Wanru quickly answered, as if she was under the illusion that Di Hao Ian was asking her. Di Hao Ian's sharp gaze swept over. Lan Wanru looked down nervously. Eat some more. Zhang had already brought the cutlery over and placed it on the table. Di Bowling sat down at the table. Tang Bao looked at Lan Wanru and asked deliberately, Do you want to sit with us? Lan Wanru was a woman who was good at reading people's expressions. When she saw Di Hao Qian exuding a cold aura, she said, No, I'll wait in the hall. I brought Bowling here anyway. With that, she turned and walked toward the hall. Di Bowling was young, but he felt a different atmosphere. Di Hao Ian patted his head. Eat. Ew. You messed up my hair. Di Bowling was furious. Tang Bao looked at his face that was red with anger and burst out laughing. When he sat down, he said, Let me help you fix it. He fixed the hair that was sticking out of his head. Di Hao Ian looked at Tang Bao's focused expression and his dark eyes deepened. What do you want to eat? I'll help you, Tang Bao said. I'm just here to take a look. I'll be going back later, Deep Bowling said to Tang Bao. You're here to see Xiao Bao, right? Tang Bao thought for a while and asked. Because other than this, she couldn't think of any other reason why he would take the initiative to come. Every time he came, it was because Di Hao Ian forced him to. I didn't, Deep Bowling said awkwardly with a red face. From his expression, she could tell whether he really did or not. Eat less. Tang Bao picked up some food for him. After all, Deep Bowling had lived in the castle for a while and knew what he liked. Deep Bowling looked at the two babies opposite him, and the two babies looked back at him. Bao didn't have any objections to Deep Bowling's arrival. Xiao Bao wasn't as afraid of Deep Bowling as before. After all, this was the castle, her home. With Daddy, Mommy, and Big Brother around, she wasn't afraid of anything. I'm full. I'll go entertain the guests. Tang Bao stood up. Di Hao Ian's heart skipped a beat as he looked at Tang Bao. Tang Bao pretended not to see it. He wiped his mouth and said to the children with a smile, "Take your time. It's the castle's etiquette to entertain guests." "Mommy, I'll remember." Xiao Bao was happy. In any case, to her, whatever her mommy said was right. Now, why does Daddy seem unhappy? Di Hao Ian's expression didn't look too good. Anyone with eyes could see it. What did he mean by remember? There was no need for such etiquette in the castle. Tang Bao walked into the hall and saw Lan Wanru sitting there. She was really sitting there obediently, waiting for him. Tang Bao walked over and sat down opposite her. He saw that she didn't even have tea in front of her, nor did she order the servants to pour tea. Chapter 882. She was now disguised as a man, so naturally, she still looked like Tang Ge. I was just thinking, are you going to stay here forever? Do you even need to ask? I'll stay here with Di Hao Ian for the rest of my life and watch the children start a family. What's wrong with that? They're not your children. Do you need to watch them start a family? As a man, do you really think that your value is more important than a woman's existence? Do you really think that you can stay here forever? Is there something wrong with your brain after staying here for so long? Lan Wan remarked. Tang Bao sneered. Which part of my brain is not normal? You're the one who's not normal, aren't you? Do you really think that I can't tell what you've done to get into the castle? You're using Di Bowling. He's your nephew after all. Do you feel at ease with that? Lan Wanru, you're so calculative. Aren't you afraid that you'll never recover from your illness? Lan Wanru looked angry. Are you saying that my illness is because I'm overthinking? My illness came from my mother's womb. The only one who can cure me is Brother Hao Ian. Since when did Di Hao Ian specialize in medicine? Tang Bao sneered. This is a psychological problem. Other than Brother Hao Ian, no one can cure me. Then you'll be disappointed. Your illness will never recover in this lifetime. Tang Bao did not pity her at all. You. Lan Wanru was so angry that her lips trembled. All right, I'll stay in the castle with Di Bowling. You can go back. We'll send him to school tomorrow. Tang Bao ordered her to leave. I promised my aunt that I'll bring him here and bring him back. Then do you want me to chase you away in a rude way? Tang Bao asked indifferently. You dare. Lan Wanru's expression changed drastically. Both of you. Tang Bao pointed at the servant standing by the door in the distance. The servant immediately ran over and Tang Bao said, Take her out. I'm going to look for Brother Hao Ian. Lan Wanru stood up and walked towards the dining room. With a look from Tang Bao, the servant restrained her and quickly chased her out. Go get me a glass of water. I'm thirsty, Tang Bao said. After the water was poured, she sat there and drank slowly. The faint fragrance made her feel very comfortable, and it flowed down her throat smoothly. Di Hao Ian walked into the hall and saw Tang Bao sitting there drinking water. He walked over, sat down beside her, and put his arm around her slender waist. Tang Bao frowned slightly and tried to pull his hand away, but he could not. She couldn't help but look towards the dining room, afraid that the three children would see her. Can you not be so brazen? Tang Bao said helplessly. I want to be even more brazen, Di Hao Ian said as he held her chin and kissed her with his thin lips. Oh, Tang Bao's eyes widened. This person was really Did he have to be so despicable? The three children were still in the dining room, and he was kissing them without any reservations. Of course, Di Hao Ian was happy. His treasure could finally treat him as the owner of this place and chase Lan Wanru away. Of course, he couldn't control himself. He wanted to do something even more outrageous. Let go of her. A tender but angry voice rang out from the side. Tang Bao was so frightened that her whole body trembled. She pushed Di Hao Ian away forcefully and saw a furious Di Bowling glaring at Di Hao Ian with her hands on her hips. She looked as if she had a little devil's horn on her head and was angry. Xiao Bao jumped out and refused to be outdone. It's none of your business whether my daddy kisses my mommy. How is it none of my business? I'm going to marry her when she grows up. She's mine. Di Bowling continued to be angry. Di Hao Ian was speechless. Tang Bao was speechless. What was even worse was that Xiao Bao saw his scary expression and shrank back. However, she still forced herself to say, if you want to marry my mommy, you should get my permission. So, you can't be fierce to me. Did this mean that he would agree to marry her if he wasn't fierce to her? What was going on? It was such a mess. Tang Bao felt a headache coming on. Before she could react, Di Bowling sat between her and Di Hao Ian to prevent them from getting too close. Tang Bao was dumbfounded. This kind of possessiveness shocked her. She felt that if Bao and Xiao Bao were the ones who did this, it would be pardonable. What was Di Bowling's situation? For some reason, Tang Bao did not feel repulsed by Di Bowling's overbearing behavior. Instead, she felt a strange sense of warmth in her heart. Di Hao Ian glared at the little guy with his long and sharp black eyes. Get off me. I won't. I'm telling you, I won't allow you to touch her. She's my woman. Di Bowling said righteously. You want to steal my woman? Where did you get the guts? Di Hao Ian lifted the little guy onto his knees and laid him face down. He took off his pants and revealed his white, round buttocks. Before Di Bowling could figure out what was going on, his buttocks were slapped twice. He could not feel the pain and just stood there in a daze. Seeing that Di Bowling was not moving, Tang Bao quickly said, Did you hurt him? Di Hao Ian frowned. He did not use much strength. How painful could it be? Could it be that he did not control himself? He pulled up his pants, picked up Di Bowling, who was lying on his lap, and sat him down on the sofa. Di Bowling was in a daze. His face was red. Bowling, are you okay? Tang Bao asked worriedly. Di Bowling came back to his senses and looked at Di Hao Ian in a daze. His face was red and angry. You hit my buttocks? No one has ever hit my buttocks. How could such an embarrassing thing happen to him? He could not accept it, and in front of Di Bang Han and Di Yunxi. How could he face them in the future? Di Hao Ian was indifferent to his accusation. Don't worry, I'll hit your buttocks more often in the future. If you behave, I'll hit you less. Di Bowling was furious. Didn't you use spanking to threaten me because you think you have no advantage over me and are worried that I'll steal your woman? Tell me, what advantage do you have? Di Hao Ian asked calmly. I'm younger than you. Di Bowling said confidently. Di Hao Ian was speechless. Tang Bao face-bombed. Why did these two quarrel whenever they were together? They were even jealous of her? Were they kidding her? You are indeed young, but are you stronger than me? Di Hao Ian's sharp and imposing gaze swept across Bao and Di Bowling. Men, no matter how old or young they are, as long as they are strong, they can have everything they want. You shouldn't say things like younger than me. It's embarrassing. Do you understand? Bao listened to him in his heart. Di Bowling's face was red because he had been comparing their ages just now. Chapter 883. He felt as if he had been slapped in the face, and his embarrassment turned into anger. Tang Bao looked at the three children in silence, especially Di Bowling. His face was red, and he looked as if he could not vent his anger. They were only 3 years old. Wasn't it too early for Di Hao Ian to say this? Moreover, wasn't he afraid that they would be overburdened? Do you want to go out and play? I'll take you. Tang Bao held Di Bowling's little hand. When Di Bowling saw this, he immediately grabbed Tang Bao's hand with both hands and threw a provocative look at Di Haoyan. Okay. Di Haoyan watched as Tang Bao walked out with the 3 children. He was left standing there alone. He really could not drag Tang Bao over. He really gave birth to a good son for him. Why didn't he have a son and a daughter back then? He had 2 sons, and now he was fighting with him for a woman? He was quite bold. Tang Bao took the 3 children to play. When they had enough fun, he took them back. When they entered the living room, they saw Di Haoyan sitting on the sofa and watching TV. Had this person been sitting here all this time and not left? Then, they looked at Di Haoyan's cold and gloomy expression. One look, and they could tell that he was in a bad mood. Zhongli, take them upstairs to wash up and sleep, Tang Bao said. Seeing Di Bowling looking at her eagerly, she could not help but touch his little face. I'll go up and look for you later. Okay. After the 3 children went upstairs, Tang Bao walked towards Di Haoyan, who did not move at all. He pretended to be serious, and he really did look like he was serious. Tang Bao pounced on Di Haoyan and placed his hands on both sides of him. He imitated his previous condescending attitude and looked down at him. Handsome, were you waiting for me? Di Haoyan raised his head slightly, his dark eyes slightly dazed as he stared deeply at the little face above him. His heart palpitated incessantly, and his throat tightened involuntarily. I'm waiting for the person in my heart. Tang Bao's face heated up, and he blinked his watery eyes. Do I know her? More than familiar. Di Haoyan reached out, put his arm around her waist, and let her sit on his lap. Tang Bao's face was a little red. He thought of something and asked, I have something to tell you. I asked Bowling to sleep here. It's fine. You can make the decision. Di Haoyan had no time to think about what she had just said. His black eyes were only focused on that bright red mouth of hers. His thin lips pressed against hers. Tang Bao quickly retreated. Di Haoyan raised his eyebrows. Go back to your room. No problem. Di Haoyan was fine with anything as long as he could kiss her. Then, he picked up Tang Bao. Let me walk on my own. Put me down. Tang Bao quickly held onto his broad shoulders. I'll walk quickly. Was he in such a hurry? It wasn't his first kiss. Wasn't he afraid that others would laugh at him? The 2 of them went back to their room. After the door was closed, he threw Tang Bao onto the sofa and pressed her down. Seeing that Di Haoyan was about to kiss her, she quickly dodged. Didn't you say that you're going to kiss me? I'm going to take a look at the children first. I'll come back after that, okay? Tang Bao's face was red. She played with his collar and said, Think about it. You don't just want to kiss me, right? When the time comes and you can't take it anymore, I'll go to take a look at the children. Aren't you going to endure it? And if my lips are swollen from your kiss, won't the children ask me about it? So, wait for me to come back. You can take a shower first. Although Di Haoyan really wanted to kiss her now, he really didn't want to be interrupted in the middle of it. He could only compromise. I'll wait for you to come back, and we'll take a shower together. Tang Bao's face was hot again and again. Okay, why are you so easy to talk to? Did you do something wrong? Di Haoyan narrowed his long and narrow eyes and asked dangerously. You're really? Forget it if you don't want to. Let me get up. Tang Bao was rarely willing, but he was suspecting her. This devil of a man shouldn't have given him any benefits. I want to. I didn't say I don't want to. Di Haoyan kissed her lips that were pouting out of displeasure. I'll go with you. Why? Because I'm a loving father. Why did Tang Bao feel that his words were so unreliable? Di Haoyan was very good to the 2 babies, even to Di Bowling. However, how could she believe him when he said that? Di Haoyan didn't give her a chance to doubt him. He grabbed her waist and lifted her up. Tang Bao felt that it was better to visit Di Bowling first. That little guy seemed to be in a hurry. More importantly, that was someone else's child. It was fine to visit his own child later. After entering, he saw Di Bowling leaning against the headboard in a daze. When he saw Tang Bao walking in, his cold face immediately melted. However, before it could completely melt, his face froze when he saw Di Haoyan coming from behind. Di Haoyan obviously knew what he was thinking. His expression was dignified, and he didn't argue with him. However, Di Bowling was very rude. Why did you let him come too? Tang Bao turned around and looked at Di Hao Yin. He wanted to laugh. Were these two people really going to glare at each other the moment they met? Tang Bao walked over and comforted him. He's here to see if you're sleeping well. If you're sleeping well, he'll be relieved. Actually, he likes you as much as he likes her Bao and Xiao Bao. Maybe you can get along peacefully. Get along peacefully? He's fighting with me for a woman. How can I get along peacefully with him? Di Bowling frowned and said seriously. Tang Bao was speechless. Before he could come back to his senses, Di Bowling hugged Tang Bao as if he was afraid that she would run away. Di Hao Yin leaned against the wall and looked at the scene lazily. It was as if he could accept Di Bowling's actions. That was because this was his own son. On the account that he was still young, he could be a little more indulgent. However, the next second, he couldn't be generous anymore, because Di Bowling made a request. Can you sleep with me tonight? Tang Bao was stunned at first. Looking at Di Hao Yin's obviously dark face, she felt that if she continued to let Di Bowling make such a request, she would be dragged away by Di Hao Yin. She said to Di Bowling, I can come and see you every night, but if you want me to sleep here, I won't be able to come and see you in the future. Then, she whispered into Di Bowling's ear, look at how unhappy he is. You can tell how petty he is. You're not like him. You're cute and sensible. Am I right? Di Bowling's expression relaxed. He felt that Tang Bao made a lot of sense. He really shouldn't be like this. The point was, he definitely wouldn't be able to win against this tyrant. If that happened, would Tang Bao stop coming to see him? With his tyrant's temper, it was very likely that he would force him to break up with Tang Bao. Di Bowling's eyes turned slightly. Looking at the fair skin on Tang Bao's face, he leaned over and kissed her. Tang Bao's heart softened at that soft little mouth. Chapter 884. This was nothing to her, but it was different for Di Hao Yin, right? However, Di Hao Yin's face was tense, and he did not do anything. Was he trying to hide it in front of child? She looked at Di Bowling, who was already lying down. His little body was slightly tilted, and his face was red. Was he still shy? For some reason, Tang Bao kissed his forehead gently and said, good night. Then she stood up and left. After the door closed, Di Bowling opened his eyes and touched the spot on his forehead where she had kissed him. He was in a daze. No one had ever kissed him and said good night to him before going to bed. Why was she so nice to him? Was it because they were relatives? Or did she like him? On the way to Xiao Bao's room, Tang Bao had been paying attention to Di Hao Yin's expression ever since she had come out of Di Bowling's room. This was really awkward. Thinking about it, just one Di Junbai was enough to make Di Hao Yin act like he was facing a great enemy. How many times had he caused trouble for Di Junbai? Now, she was actually so close to his son. Di Hao Yin did not seem to be very angry. When he was in the room, his face was tense and dark. Now, he had recovered. Did this mean that he was not angry? That he would not get jealous over a child? Even if this was the case, Tang Bao still found it strange. Logically speaking, if Di Hao Yin was jealous of a little male dog, wouldn't a 3-year-old boy be more threatening than a little dog? Tang Bao did not want to let her imagination run wild. Otherwise, she would start imagining things again. She did not want to suspect Di Hao Yin. So many things had happened between her and Di Hao Yin. Was there still a need to suspect him? Even if there was really something to suspect, it would be that Di Hao Yin was hiding something from her. Don't keep staring at me. I can't help but want you, Di Hao Yin said, looking straight ahead. Tang Bao's heart skipped a beat. I can't even look at you? Yes. Then why did you say that? I can't stand the way you look at me. It makes me feel like you're asking for sex, and my control over you has always been negative. It's obviously because your thoughts are too evil, Tang Bao retorted with a red face. She had never met anyone like Di Hao Yin. What was he thinking about? Look at how he could even think of that. Tang Bao suspected that ever since he left the room, Di Hao Yin's mind had not stopped thinking about that. Just like that, Tang Bao's body started to heat up and his heart started to beat faster. One could imagine how intense it would be if they entered the room later. Although it was very intense every time, Tang Bao still could not mentally prepare himself for such a thing. No matter how prepared he was, he could not ease the tension in his heart. After entering Xiao Bao's room, Tang Bao was forced to stop the heat in his body. On the bed, Xiao Bao was already asleep, holding a doll in her hands. Tang Bao walked over and touched her tender little face. He let her continue to sleep with the doll. When he went to Bao's room, he saw that Bao was working on the computer. When he saw Di Hao Hian and Tang Bao walking in, he called out to them, "Daddy, Mommy, you know how to use the computer?" Tang Bao walked over in surprise. "Daddy taught me," Bao said. Tang Bao looked at the web page on the internet. It was actually T. Tang Bao only glanced at Di Hao Hian and did not ask anything. He looked at the time and asked him, "When are you going to sleep?" "There's still half an hour to sleep." After going out, Tang Bao went back to his room angrily. After Di Hao Hian went in, he asked angrily, "Are you preparing to train an heir? Is there a problem?" "Of course there's a problem. Bao is only 3 years old." Tang Bao put his hands on his hips. A 3-year-old child was asked to watch T. Even if Bao was a genius in all aspects, she did not want him to learn about T so soon. He was curious, so I taught him. Di Hao Ian walked forward and held Tang Bao's waist. He asked, "If the child is interested in something, do you want to train him?" "Yes. Since he's interested, of course I will teach him without reservation. But it will be very difficult." This was what Tang Bao was worried about. "He's my son. I won't let a 3-year-old do something that a 30-year-old should do. Moreover, when a child grows up, he must have his own achievements. We can guide him, but he chose his own path and has to walk it himself. We can't be with him forever. The only person I can take care of forever is you. You're meddling too much." Tang Bao looked uncomfortable when he was mentioned and turned away. Di Hao Hian pinched her beautiful chin and turned it to face him. "There's no other way. Since we've met, don't even think about running away. You have to stay by my side forever." They were originally talking about Bao, but now they were talking about her. His domineering words did not change his usual style. However, she could not refute Bao's words, because Di Hao Ian's words were so reasonable. More importantly, Bao was interested. How could she stop him? Seriously, why did Bao like to watch T? Did he look like Di Hao Ian and have the same hobbies? While Tang Bao was in a daze, she was picked up. Tang Bao hugged Di Hao Ian's broad shoulders. "What are you doing?" "I'm taking a shower. Did you forget?" Tang Bao's face instantly turned red. She had indeed forgotten, and it was something that she had agreed to. The bathroom door was slammed shut, and soon, something indescribable happened inside. Li Yuhuai was waiting for Lan Wanru at home. Lan Wanru also came back very late. Li Yuhuai saw her, but did not see Di Bowling. "Where's Bowling?" "I'm sorry, Annie. Bowling is staying at the castle. Didn't you tell me that you would bring him back? Why can't you do this?" Li Yuhuai said angrily. "I'm sorry. I also wanted to bring Bowling back, but that man called Tang Ge is not a good person. He was the one who forced Bowling to stay," Lan Wanru said awkwardly. Li Yuhuai was about to throw a tantrum when Di Junbai walked into the living room and said calmly, "Let him stay there." "What do you mean by let him stay there? He's your son. Why should he stay at the castle?" Li Yuhuai said unhappily. "Since he's my son, he'll come back sooner or later. Naturally, there's no need to worry," Di Junbai said cheerfully. His words made sense. However, Li Yuhuai was not happy. As a father, you're not worried at all. How can you be at ease when your son isn't by your side? Anyway, ever since Bowling was born, I've felt uncomfortable not seeing him for 2 days. Di Junbai narrowed his dark eyes. "Then I'll bring him back tomorrow." Since Di Junbai had said so, Li Yuhuai naturally could not throw a tantrum. She turned around and returned to her room dejectedly. Chapter 885. Don't boost other people's morale. You're not bad yourself. Bowling is just a child. It's normal for him to want to play. It's fine to let him play there. You don't have to take it to heart. Di Junbai said, "That's right. Bowling and Brother Hao Ian's 2 children play quite well." When he heard that Xiao Bao was injured, he wanted to go and see him for a long time, but he couldn't bring himself to say it. Today, when I mentioned it, he said so. I'm his aunt, so I took him along. Lan Wanru said. I know. Di Junbai turned to look at Lan Wanru. Looking at your face, did something unpleasant happen at the castle? That man thought that Brother Hao Ian could take a few more glances at him. He was especially arrogant and chased me out. I was alone and weak. How could I win? If she had Di Hao Ian as her backing, that man was nothing. Don't talk about you. Even if I went to the castle, I wouldn't be treated any better than you. Di Junbai said, Brother, why is our family so unlucky? Why do we have to be bullied everywhere? Oppressed by others? I'm really... Enough. Di Junbai growled. Lan Wanru's body trembled. He looked at Di Junbai in disbelief. Di Junbai's face returned to normal. His eyes were calm, as if nothing had happened. Go to bed early. With that, he turned and left. Lan Wanru stood there for a long time without moving. It was as if he still hadn't recovered from the growl just now. She couldn't believe that the growl just now came from Di Junbai's mouth. To her, Di Junbai had always been gentle and refined. He never lost his temper. He didn't even raise his voice. How could it be? What did she say just now make Di Junbai like this? She only said that their family was unlucky. She didn't say anything else. That was the truth, wasn't it? In short, Lan Wanru felt as if he had seen the other side of Di Junbai. Or could it be that everyone had more than one side, and it was just that they had not been discovered? On the second day of the Tang Bao meeting, they only returned to the studio in Di Hao Ian's car at noon. When she got out of the car, her face was still red. Her small mouth was a little red and swollen. Tang Bao got out of the car alone, because she really did not want to get out of the car with Di Hao Ian. It would be too eye-catching. Therefore, she asked Di Hao Ian to take the car to the parking lot and then directly went into the elevator to return to her office. Wouldn't that be more convenient? Anyway, that was her request. Although Di Hao Ian agreed, his expression was not very good. Tang Bao did not care about him. She had already fulfilled all of his requests tonight. What else did he want? After entering the studio, Xiao Ding greeted him warmly. Agent Tang, you're here. Have you eaten? Tang Bao asked. Yes. When Tang Bao returned to his office and sat down on the chair, he felt as if his waist would break in the next second. Xiao Ding reported her work. After she was done, she stood there and did not leave. Tang Bao looked up at her and asked, Is there anything else? Xiao Ding stood there with a gossipy heart, her eyes sparkling. Agent Tang, please forgive us for having a gossipy heart. After all, this is inseparable from our work. Tang Bao thought of something. Suppressing the uneasiness in his heart, he asked, Can you not ask about my private gossip? Agent Tang, is that your boyfriend? Let me tell you, I support you. Xiao Ding quickly expressed her feelings. Why? They look very compatible. Also, we went next door to inquire about your boyfriend's identity, but we couldn't find anything, Xiao Ding said regretfully. Tang Bao thought to himself, If you can find out, I'll be convinced. Besides, no matter who goes to inquire about it, it will spread to the higher-ups in a few seconds, and then the higher-ups will be on guard. They won't even need Di Hao Ian to do anything. Naturally, no one will tell you Di Hao Ian's true identity. They probably would not have thought that her boyfriend would be the leader of T, right? Even if they were next door, there was still a world of difference. Is that all you want to ask? There's nothing to be curious about. It's just a small leader of T, Tang Bao said nonchalantly. I think so too. By the way, Celebrity Ming came over yesterday and asked about it too. Tang Bao paused as he flipped through the documents. He asked about my boyfriend? Yes, he asked me who that person was. Of course, we didn't know, so we didn't say anything. Tang Bao was depressed. What was Ming Shi thinking? Could it be that he still hadn't given up? She just looked like his first love, but he was so persistent. If he really found out that she was his so-called first love, what kind of blow would it be? On the set, Ming Shi was in the middle of filming when he kept sneezing. The filming stopped, and his assistant hurried forward. What's wrong? What's wrong? Did you catch a cold? I feel that someone is talking bad about me. I only sneezed twice. More than 3 times is considered cold. Tang Bao had arranged for Ming Shi to be his assistant, Jewel. Ming Shi would call Tang Bao whenever there was a disturbance. Manager Tang. Meng Shi sneezed twice just now. He said that someone is talking bad about him, and more than 3 sneezes is considered a cold, Jules said. Tang Bao glanced at Xiao Ding, who was beside him. It had seemed like someone was talking bad about him just now. But if Meng Shi knew about such a small matter, wouldn't he give his assistant a good beating? It's okay, I'll go and see him later, Tang Bao said. Jules hung up and ran happily to Meng Shi. Manager Tang said that he'll come and see you later. Meng Shi was surprised. Really? Yes, I told him that you sneezed on the set. Didn't you want Manager Tang to come and see you? Jules' chubby face with pimples was very proud. Meng Shi looked at her. Jules was puzzled. What's wrong? It's a waste of your talent to be an assistant. After Tang Bao went to the set, he saw Meng Shi resting on a recliner with a towel over his head. Was he really sick? Tang Bao walked over and stood in front of Meng Shi, whose eyes were closed. He studied his face for a long time before asking, "Were you feeling unwell?" Meng Shi was shocked and jumped up. He stood up. "You're here, quick, sit down." Tang Bao did not sit on his recliner. Instead, he pulled a stool and sat down. Meng Shi saw this and sat down as well. "I heard that you sneezed because someone was talking bad about you. Why? Did you really catch a cold?" Tang Bao asked. "Yes, it's very serious. Touch my head." Meng Shi took her hand and asked her to touch his forehead. How could Tang Bao touch his forehead? He pulled his hand back and exposed him. "I've never seen someone as sick as you who looks so good." Meng Shi hid his uneasiness and sat on the recliner. "I look good because I'm feeling better, but there's still some poison in my body." Tang Bao listened to his nonsense. Chapter 886. Is that so? It's indeed unfair to have to work when you're sick. However, just come and visit me more often in the future. You're my artiste, so of course I'll come and visit you often. However, I'm referring to letting you play the second male lead. Meng Shi waved his hand indifferently. What does that matter? A man knows when to yield and when not to. Now that I'm the second male lead, I'll be the first male lead in the future. I don't care about these things. But don't worry, these are all temporary. I have my reasons for letting you play the second male lead in this TV series. Just like Chingju, if it's not suitable for her role, I won't take it. When the time comes, it'll make people feel immersed in it. Of course, Tang Bao had his own arrangements. Even someone like Do Ge is willing to follow you. I have to say, Tang Ge, you're really amazing, Meng Shi praised. Tang Bao smiled and thought of something. He asked, "I heard that you have a good relationship with the female lead on set." Meng Shi seemed to have thought of something, and that pair of charming and unruly eyes darted around. "Are you jealous?" Tang Bao looked at him indifferently. "Jealous that I'm too close to another woman? Do you have different feelings for me?" Tang Bao resisted the urge to roll his eyes. "I'm a generous agent. If you have a woman you like and want to be in a relationship, you have to tell me so that I can feel at ease. Otherwise, I'll be the last to know when things come out. Understand? Brother Tang, why are you so domineering when you speak? Why do I feel so comfortable listening to you? Who did you learn that from?" Tang Bao's internal organs twitched. Does this guy not know what I'm talking about? Don't worry. You've already told me this when you took me in the past. I remember it. It's good that you remember it. I'm just afraid that you'll forget. You haven't told me what's going on with Kai Shi. That woman, let me tell you, she's really coquettish. She likes to pounce on handsome men. That's why she gave me all kinds of flirtatious looks on the first day I came to the set. Now, she's even bold enough to give me a room card. Do you think I'll fall for such a woman? I'm afraid I'll get sick. After Meng Shi finished speaking in disdain, he looked at Tang Bao's half-smile and hurriedly asked, "What? You don't believe me? Even if I was a playboy in the past, I was still a person with principles, okay? Not just anyone can flirt with me. Who do you think I am? I'm a superstar." Tang Bao raised his eyebrows. "Very good. I'm very pleased to know that I'm also a person of noble status." Tang Bao stayed on the set for a while and greeted the director before leaving. However, when she left, she saw the female celebrity named Kai Shi sitting under a parasol. The makeup artist was touching up her makeup with an expression of enjoyment. Because she was in modern clothes, she really looked like the innocent female lead. However, her eyes seemed to carry a sense of calculation. Manager Tang, I'm so lucky to see you here. Kai Shizhen stood up from the recliner and walked towards Tang Bao. Hello, superstar Kai. You really live up to your reputation. You're beautiful and moving. Tang Bao smiled. Kai Shizhen smiled coquettishly. Manager Tang really knows how to praise people. As she spoke, her slender fingers scratched Tang Bao's chest. Tang Bao was indeed a flirtatious person. I noticed you last time, but it's a pity. In order not to disappoint her, Tang Bao asked, What's a pity? I've already had a child. Otherwise, I would have been able to pursue a man as clean as you. Tang Bao was stunned. Was she kidding? From what she knew, she had never heard of Kai Shizhen having a child. Moreover, if such news were to be leaked with her reputation, wouldn't her future be bleak? Aren't you afraid that you'll spread the news by telling me this? Tang Bao was curious. I can't guarantee it for others, but you won't. Why? I'm curious. You don't know me well. Tang Bao looked at her with interest. You know what? I've always been very good at reading people. For example, Meng Shi at this moment. This kind of man can't be pushed too hard. Otherwise, he'll feel bored. If I chase him every day and suddenly stop, he'll definitely be curious and come looking for me. He'll definitely do that. I've calculated it correctly. So, I'm also very good at reading you. You'll definitely not report me. Besides, even if you do report me, do you have any evidence? I won't fight a battle that I'm not confident in, Kai Shizhen said confidently. Tang Bao nodded and smiled. Indeed, she wouldn't leak such news. It wasn't that she didn't have any evidence. When it came to evidence, those reporters were even more impressive than criminal investigators. They could completely dig up that little bit of information. It was just that she wasn't very interested in such things. She was going to pick on other people's private matters. It wasn't her style. Since you know that I won't have a high fever, why are you telling me this? Don't tell me you think that you're fated to be telling me this? Tang Bao was still smiling at her. Would you believe me if I said it? My son looks a lot like you. Maybe that's the reason. Kai Shizhen's face was filled with longing. Tang Bao felt that this woman was becoming more and more inexplicable. He raised his wrist to look at the time and said, Sorry, I still have something to do. I won't chat with you anymore. Goodbye. Kai Shizhen turned around and blocked him. Why are you in such a hurry to leave? I haven't finished talking yet. It won't take up too much of your time. Then say it. Maybe you think it's funny, but I'm telling the truth when I said that my son looks like you. Sorry, but I can't have a son with you. It's really funny to say that. Actually, I want to make a deal with you. What deal? Tang Bao felt that she had a motive. It's not that I can't tell that Meng. She isn't interested in me. However, if I want to get a man, it's not difficult, even if I have to destroy that person. What do you want? I heard that you have some connections with the D family. Where did you hear that from? Tang Bao asked. You don't have to worry about that. I want to get close to the D family. The D family? Who? Tang Bao knew the D family too well. You want to know who Kai Shizhen was interested in? You don't have to worry about that. It's good to know anyone. You have to tell me your motive. Otherwise, how can I help you? I don't want to do anything to harm people. All right then, I'll tell you. Didn't I just tell you that I have a son? I gave birth to a son for the D family. That son is the current leader of T. I just want to get close to the D family and slowly get close to the leader of T. Chapter 887. Was she joking with her? Kai Shizhen said that she gave birth to the two babies in front of her. Then were the two babies that came out of her womb. Of course. Do you know who's in charge of T? Di Haoyan. Tang Bao did not say anything. She pursed her lips. I heard that his first wife gave birth to a pair of twins for him, but I'm not bad either. I gave birth to a son for him too. Now, my son is also in the D family, but not by Di Haoyan's side. I feel very uncomfortable. First wife. Tang Bao remained silent. She maintained her calm expression and looked at Kai Shizhen indifferently. Surprised, right? 3 years ago, I think his wife passed away. Once, he was drunk and I had sex with him. I didn't expect to get pregnant. But that man didn't want the child and asked me to abort it. I didn't. I secretly gave birth to the child. I gave it to someone in the D family. After that, I didn't see my child for 3 years. I just wanted to use this way to let my son get close to D Hao Ian. I think that D Hao Ian will definitely like him when he sees him. I believe in the saying that blood is thicker than water. Since you've said so much, you don't mind telling me who you gave a child to, right? Tang Bao asked curiously. Di Junbai, Di Hao Ian's younger brother. Tang Bao's heart suddenly jumped and then sank, as if a huge rock was tied to her heart. However, there was no change in her expression. This story of yours, it sounds nice. But Di Junbai's son is his biological son. How could it be your son? Of course, I wouldn't dare to say it if I wasn't 100% sure. Besides, I begged Di Junbai to keep this a secret. He agreed. He said that he would keep this secret for the rest of his life. But I don't want to keep it anymore. You don't know, but ever since I slept with Di Hao Ian, no matter how many men I slept with, I couldn't forget him. The more I couldn't forget him, the more I liked to chase after men. Do you know how painful that is? I really don't know what kind of pain it is. However, I can tell you that I have nothing to do with the D clan. I don't know them very well. You come to the wrong person. The deal is off. Goodbye. After Tang Bao finished speaking, he left without looking back. Kai Shizhen looked at Tang Bao's departing figure with a calculating smile on his face. Tang Bao got into the car. Along the way, his legs felt like they were floating. The car kept moving forward, but her mind remained in the same place. Was what Kai Shizhen said true or false? 3 years ago, she had a one-night stand with Di Hao Ian. Then, after having a child, Kai Shizhen handed the child to Di Junbai. Di Bowling was 3 years old now, so the timing matched. However, Tang Bao didn't want to believe such a thing. She shouldn't have doubted Di Hao Ian. Di Hao Ian pestered her all day long, and she couldn't even breathe. Would he touch another woman when she wasn't around? But Kai Shizhen also said that Di Hao Ian was drunk. Was she telling her that Di Hao Ian had made a mistake? Tang Bao didn't want to believe such a ridiculous thing. But Tang Bao also thought of Di Hao Ian's attitude towards Di Bowling. She had felt strange many times. Why would Di Hao Ian tolerate Di Bowling so much? Even if Di Bowling was Di Junbai's son, he didn't have to go to such an extent. Unless Di Bowling was really Di Hao Ian's biological son, and Di Hao Ian was also aware of this relationship. She had always been curious as to why Di Hao Ian treated Di Bowling so well that he didn't even stop him from snatching her away from him. Tang Bao really didn't want to suspect Di Hao Ian. Not at all. She had gone through so much with Di Hao Ian. In the end, she didn't want to be told that not only did Di Hao Ian betray her during those 3 years, but he also had a son with someone else. When Tang Bao returned to the studio, Xiao Ding was about to say something happily, but when he saw that Tang Bao didn't look too good, he asked, "Manager Tang, are you okay? What's wrong with me? Your face is ghastly pale. Maybe the sun made me dizzy. Then I'll go buy some medicine for you." "No need. I'll be fine after resting in the office," Tang Bao said and went to the office. After entering, she collapsed on the sofa and looked up at the white ceiling in a daze. Was her face very pale? It should be. She felt that she had no strength in her body. It was as if she had been hollowed out after the blow. Now, her entire brain was empty, as if nothing could be stuffed into it. She thought that after going through so much, her body should be invulnerable. Even if she was injured, she would recover quickly. But now, as she tried to recover, the wound was getting bigger and bigger. It was getting deeper and deeper. "Di Hao Ian, you didn't really have sex with another woman after I died, did you? And you even had a child? If that's the case, should the person who regrets it be you, or should I? Am I supposed to hate you? No, before things are clear, I won't think of you with any emotions. Perhaps this was just a misunderstanding." Tang Bao sat up from the sofa with difficulty. Even if it was such a rational analysis, the heartache continued to grow. Almost out of breath, Tang Bao tugged at his tie forcefully, tore it open, and threw it aside. It fell to the ground, but she did not care. Her cell phone rang in her briefcase. She looked over and knew in her heart who was calling. When she entered the door, Di Hao Ian must have noticed. However, at this moment, she really did not want to answer. Her mind was blank, as if she did not know how to phrase it or say anything to Di Hao Ian. Even if it was a normal conversation, she did not have the strength to do so. Tang Bao lay on the sofa again and closed her eyes. Her ears automatically shut out the ringing of the cell phone. Tang Bao did not know how she fell asleep with the ringing of the cell phone. When she woke up, she found that her body was covered with a black suit jacket, and her head was resting on a firm thigh. Tang Bao quickly sat up and looked at Di Hao Ian, who had appeared out of nowhere. She could not help but support her groggy head with her hand and asked softly, "What time is it?" 6 o'clock. Are you not feeling well? Di Hao Ian hugged her and patted her head. Is it too tiring? Didn't you go to the set in the afternoon? Yes, I went. When I came back, I was a little sleepy and fell asleep. Don't talk about not letting me work. Who was the one who kept tormenting me at night? Otherwise, would I be like this? Tang Bao wanted to push him away. However, Di Hao Ian did not let go, so Tang Bao could only give up. Di Hao Ian's thin lips pressed against her tender face. Okay, I'll let you rest tonight. I'll bear with it. Can you bear with it? Tang Bao asked as he narrowed his eyes slightly. Chapter 888. Tang Bao obviously did not believe him. I don't believe you. Every time I beg you to let me go, you get more and more overboard. As he spoke, his face turned red. You're not tired. You're excited, Di Hao Ian said. His thin lips were about to move to her mouth. Tang Bao dodged. Then let me ask you, in the 3 years that I was not around, did you find another woman because you couldn't help it, including when you were not sober? Di Hao Ian frowned and said without thinking, No. And have you ever been drunk? I rarely get drunk when I drink. In the 3 years that you were not around, I never got drunk. Not even once. Tang Bao seemed to want to get the answer he wanted. No. When I couldn't sleep, I tried to numb myself with drinking and let myself fall asleep, but I failed. It seemed that the more I drank, the more awake I became. Besides, even if I was really drunk, I could tell the woman lying next to me. You're just bluffing. In the past, Di Hao Ian had also said these words to her. But now, in the past, it could still be regarded as a promise. Now, it was as if the promise had been broken. Tang Bao felt that he had really changed. If it were in the past, he would have made a scene. But now he was surprisingly calm. No, you could try if you don't believe me. I'm not that bored. Or do you want to try? Tang Bao looked at him unhappily. Other than you, I don't want anyone else. Di Hao Ian hugged her waist and did not let go. Under his normal expression, he hid a deep thought. Who said anything in front of you? Tang Bao was on guard. No. Why are you asking me this? Can't I ask? Or do you have a guilty conscience? Tang Bao looked at him, trying to see something in his eyes. But there was only a dark color. There was nothing deep. You can ask. Are you sure that no one said anything to you? Di Hao Ian asked. No. Di Hao Ian didn't ask any more questions. His slightly dark eyes were quiet, but sharp. By the way, who brought the 2 babies back? Tang Bao asked. I asked the driver to pick them up. They've already returned to the castle. Tang Bao's eyes flickered as she asked. Bowling went too. Yes. Tang Bao did not say anything. After returning to the castle, Tang Bao saw Di Bowling, who was playing with the 2 treasures in the hall. It was the latest high-intelligence building block toy, which could also develop intelligence. The 3 little guys had already assembled a house, but it was not yet complete. Di Bowling looked up and saw the person who came in. He ran up to Tang Bao and asked, What took you so long? Have you eaten? Tang Bao looked at Di Bowling's small face and did not say anything. It seemed that his divine sense was suddenly stuck there. She looked at Di Bowling's small face as if she wanted to see something from his face, but she found nothing. She did not think that Di Bowling resembled that woman, but the more she looked at him, the more she felt that his face shape resembled Di Hao Ian's. Could the little boy who liked her and wanted to sleep with her be the child of her husband and another woman? Wasn't this too ridiculous and ridiculous? Bao. Di Haotian's deep voice sounded beside her. Tang Bao came back to her senses and looked at Di Haotian. Why aren't you saying anything? Di Haotian looked at her worriedly with his dark eyes. Oh. Tang Bao looked at Di Bowling, who was still looking up at her. She thought his question and said, I haven't eaten yet. Have you eaten? We haven't eaten yet. We're waiting for you to come back. Di Bowling glanced at Di Haotian as if to say, I'm not waiting for you. The smile on Tang Bao's face was a little stiff. Then let's eat together. She wanted to say that she had no appetite, but the children had not eaten yet. How could she say that she did not want to eat? The child was innocent. Moreover, everything was just her imagination. There was no real evidence to prove that the child was Di Haotian's or Kai Shizhen's. At the dining table, Di Bowling still liked to squeeze beside Tang Bao as before. Tang Bao did not say anything and buried her head in eating. Di Bowling ate for a while and looked at Tang Bao innocently. No matter how slow Tang Bao was, she could sense it. She turned around and saw Di Bowling's expectant gaze. She asked in confusion, What's wrong? You didn't put food in my bowl today. Tang Bao had an uncomfortable expression on his face. As long as Di Bowling ate at the castle, she would put food in his bowl and take care of his feelings. But now she did not. Tang Bao felt that it was extremely strange. She did not dare to look into Di Haotian's eyes and hurriedly put food in Di Bowling's bowl. Di Haotian's dark eyes were deep, and his gaze fell on Tang Bao's face. Tang Bao lowered his gaze from beginning to end. After Di Bowling finished eating, he took Tang Bao's hand and said, I'm going back. I'll come again next time. Is that so? Okay. Tang Bao looked at Di Haotian and asked, Shall we get a car to send him back? Okay. After Di Bowling left, Tang Bao returned to her room and went into the bathroom to take a shower. The shower washed away her rationality. She felt that ever since she came back from the set, she had not been clear-headed. She did not know what she was doing when she was in the car. When she returned to the castle for dinner, she did not know what she was doing. Even when she was taking a shower now, she did not know what she was doing. It was as if everything she was doing was a kind of instinct of her body. She felt that she could not do this. Di Haotian must have noticed that something was wrong with her a long time ago. He could tell when Di Haotian appeared in her office. That was why she asked that question. Tang Bao felt that no matter how experienced she was outside, once she was in front of Di Haotian, her level plummeted. She could not hide anything. She still could not do it. She could not be indifferent and act as if nothing had happened. If such a thing happened to anyone, they would not be able to be calm. Her body tightened, and she was hugged from behind. The body that was pressed against her was unobstructed and hugged like a newborn baby. Tang Bao did not need to turn around to know who was hugging her. It was firm, strong, possessive, and airtight. Tang Bao came back to her senses a little nervously. You said that you would let me rest tonight. I know. Then don't hug me so tightly. Can't you wait for me to take a shower before coming in? Tang Bao said with a red face and lowered her gaze. What's wrong with taking a shower together? I said that I won't touch you. I mean it. Di Haotian's deep voice rang in her ears. It penetrated the magnetism of his voice. Then hurry up and take a shower. After you're done, we'll go out. Before Tang Bao could finish her words, she was turned around. Facing Di Haotian, Tang Bao was so shocked that she covered her chest with both hands. Her face was red. Di Haotian, what are you doing? You have something on your mind, Di Haotian said with certainty. Chapter 889. I didn't continue to question you in the office because I thought that if it was a small matter, it would be over. But now, your situation is getting worse and worse. Don't deny it. If I can't see this, can I still be considered as the leader of T? Tang Bao pursed his lips and turned his face to the side. Do you really want to know what I'm thinking? I can tell you. Why are you so nice to Di Bowling? Is he really just Di Junbai's son? Or was there something else you're hiding from me? She did not get a reply from Di Haotian. Tang Bao turned to look at him. She met Di Haotian's dark, bottomless eyes, and wanted to see something in them. She had never been able to see Di Hao Ian's thoughts. It was as if they were hidden in a bottomless pool, unfathomable. But now, she saw the momentary pause in Di Hao Ian's dark eyes. That was more than enough. Di Hao Ian was really hiding something from her. I'll tell you after I've dealt with it. Is that okay? Di Hao Ian's rough hand caressed her delicate face that had turned red from the water. Dealt with? Will I not know anything after you've dealt with it? No. Should Tang Bao believe Di Hao Ian? Did he mean dealing with Di Bowling when he said dealing with it? Was it meaningful for him to deal with Di Bowling or other people? If something existed, it would always be there. It cannot be changed. What kind of mentality did Di Hao Ian have when he said the word dealt with to her so calmly? Di Hao Ian's words were undoubtedly a knife to her heart, because it meant that the thing really did exist. Di Hao Ian really had a fling with another woman and had a child with her. Tang Bao felt that his head was a little dizzy and he was about to fall over. Di Hao Ian hugged her. Bao. He carried her out and laid her flat on the bed, covering her with the blanket. I'll call the doctor. Di Hao Ian turned around and was about to leave when Tang Bao stopped him. I'm fine. Maybe it's the lack of oxygen. As Tang Bao spoke, his eyes turned red. He looked at Di Hao Ian and said, Di Hao Ian, don't tell me that I'll regret coming back with you. Why would I regret it? You won't regret it. I won't give you this chance. Di Hao Ian touched her face, his heart aching. Bao, what are you worried about? What was Tang Bao worried about? He was worried that she would become gullible and take other people's words seriously when it came to Di Hao Ian. I'm not worried about anything. I believe you, Tang Bao said. She really wanted to believe it. She believed in Di Hao Ian's feelings and possessiveness towards her. Those feelings were real and could not be erased. Why would she believe what others said and suspect Di Hao Ian instead? Di Hao Ian hugged her in his arms. I'll do anything except hurt you. Tang Bao took these words as his moral support. She was just too scared. She could not hide anything from Di Hao Ian. Di Hao Ian had barged into her life when she was still studying. What did she hide from him? It was because of this that she showed such a helpless and vulnerable side in front of Di Hao Ian. Di Bowling sat on his bed after taking a shower. His handsome and cold face seemed to be thinking about something. Then he got down from the bed, opened the door, and went out. The servants did not say anything when they saw him. They went about their own business. A small figure in a nightgown walked to the door of Di Junbai's room. He knocked on the door, but no one answered. He turned the doorknob and opened the door, but no one was inside. He went to the bathroom, but no one was there either. Di Bowling rarely came to Di Junbai's room, except for the first day when he took a shower in Di Junbai's room. Then, he slept in the room that they had arranged for him. He slept in the castle more often than in his own room. When he thought of the people in the castle, his little soul was annoyed. He walked around and saw the book beside Di Junbai's pillow. He picked it up curiously to see what it was. He flipped it open to take a look, and a photo fell out from it. Di Bowling squatted down and picked it up. When he saw who was in the photo, his eyes froze. Wasn't this person Di Jianhan and Di Yunshi's mother? In that big bedroom, there was a photo frame on the bedside table. He had seen the woman in the photo before. Also, when he was in the castle, Tang Bao would have two faces. One was with makeup, and the other was without makeup. He had seen both. This person was exactly the same as the woman in the photo frame in the bedroom. Why did his daddy have a photo of Tang Bao in the book? In the past, he had asked Di Junbai to see his mommy's photo, but he didn't tell him. It wasn't that there wasn't a photo, but that he didn't show it to him. Could it be that Di Jianhan, and Di Yunshi had the same mommy? Di Bowling thought about why he liked Tang Bao. Now he understood. He unilaterally felt that Tang Bao was his mommy. That must be it. What are you doing? Di Junbai came back late. When he returned to his room, he saw Di Bowling in his room. Di Bowling put the photo in the book, turned around, and looked at Di Junbai. He said, when I was taking the book just now, a photo fell out. Daddy, is the person in the photo my mommy? Di Junbai was silent for a moment, then patted his head. Go to sleep. It's late. Di Bowling wanted to ask more, but in the end, he didn't ask anything. His daddy didn't say no. Did that mean that it was a tacit agreement? Bowling returned to his room. He lay on the bed and thought about it. The more he thought about it, the more excited he became. Tang Bao was indeed his woman. If the woman was his mommy, then wasn't she his? But in the next second, he couldn't laugh anymore. If that was the case, then that tyrant was snatching his daddy's woman? No wonder he didn't like him. No, he had to think of a way to snatch his mommy back. What method should he use? The next day, Tang Bao went to the studio as usual. She couldn't just sit around and do nothing. Otherwise, she would feel uneasy and her imagination would run wild. She also tried her best to avoid Di Haoyin. She said that she had work and didn't want him to appear in front of her. This was definitely torture for Di Haoyin. Didn't he arrange for Tang Bao's studio to be beside him so that he could see her all the time? But now, he didn't want to see her. At this moment, Di Haoyin was exuding a cold aura. No one dared to approach him. They didn't understand who had provoked the young master. When the secretary handed over the work report, he said, "Young master, why don't you go to the studio?" Because he could tell that the young master was in a good mood when he went to the studio. Therefore, in order to make the atmosphere at T normal, he boldly spoke up. "You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories."